is ready for the postseason. And again, there's the little thing called the trade deadline approaching that. But like just in general with this team, if, again, assuming health, how close are they? Like, can you squint and see a version of this team going a long way in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Again, they can knock off some or check off some items on the bucket list or the checklist before the trade deadline. But do you think this team as is close?
Absolutely. And when I say close, they're not head and shoulders above anybody, but it's much like, and maybe part of it's Craig Brewery had this experience before, and you're not looking for the Leafs to come from worst to first on whatever it was, January 3rd that year and the Gloria song and all that happened. But just, you can, it's not even catching lightning in a bottle, because catching lightning in a bottle is getting an element of luck. And there is some luck. You do need some bounces and all that stuff to win 16 playoff games. I think we're really looking at winning 8 playoff games, okay? For the Maple Leafs. They haven't done that for since the Matt Sundin era, well over 20 years ago. So yes, I can see that. I can see they're one of those that if things come together well, and they've had a lot of experience about things coming together, but mostly not coming together at the end of it when they're shaking hands at, the end. And, Sheldon Keefe, I give him credit for being a stand-up guy when he left and said, we just didn't get it done in the playoffs. But that line a couple of years ago, the handshakes were a lot firmer or something. Are you kidding me?
In the handshake line.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I think that would be a take back. He'd want a repechage if it was a rowing event and that. So, but, Justin, I'm not being a shill and going, yeah, but and again, it's going to come down to the big things, the little things, everything. The depth coming through, the big guys competing for a Conn Smythe trophy. Last year when Austin Matthews was going for 70 goals, I remember I was doing a fan forum and Steve Keogh, the PR guy, said it was around the All-Star break. He goes, he's really tired of being asked if he's going to score 70 goals. So I kind of set up before. I said, hey, we're not going to take any questions about that. Let's have them all fighting for a Conn Smythe trophy, as the MVP in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. That would be, I think, a kind of a team or individual goal for this year. And it's not out of the question. Mm-hmm. It's not a gimme, but it's not out of the question.
Well, Gord, we'll let you go tonight. We appreciate you jumping on. This was great. Good to catch up over the holidays. Enjoy whatever amount of time you have to kick your feet up and eat what you want.
How were the holidays, Gord, before we let you go?
Okay, were they good, Gord?
When I hang up, I'm going to take another notch out of my belt. They were outstanding in that, a few days off. And, you guys work really hard at it as well. So I know that kind of grind. So it's nice just all of a sudden just to take a breath for a little bit. So really had a nice one. Thanks for asking. I hope everyone did. But we're, back at it full bore. There's no looking back after tonight.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and taking a little time away from your time away to chat with us, Gord. Enjoy tonight's game, and we'll definitely chat next week.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Ailish. Happy New Year, Justin. We'll talk down the road.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Gord.
Gord Stellick, former Leafs GM and SiriusXM, is here with us at Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Doing it all
On a Friday night as the Leafs are about to hit the ice for puck drop at Little Caesars Arena. Okay, so let's go through a couple of things we might have missed. We mentioned if you joined us late, Leafs obviously facing the Red Wings tonight. Leafs on a 3-game losing streak, and the Red Wings fired Derek Lalonde on Boxing Day, which is very sad for the holiday cheer. No cheer in that household, but new coach Todd McLellan brought in. So tonight they've got a lot to play for. They're in a bad spot. They got a new coach. It's the first time. I think he got one skate with them before tonight. So they got a lot to prove. Yeah,
they do. And Todd McLellan's an interesting choice in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't want to say he's like the replacement level coach, but he's definitely been a guy who's had a lot of opportunity, has coached a lot of great players, has not been able to push his teams over the hump, and yet he's thought of as one of the good coaches in the NHL, or at least in this ecosystem, and time again he gets turned to. So we'll see if he can turn things around here with the Red Wings, but there's a lot that he's got to fix. I mean, second to last in the Eastern Conference. They've scored the third fewest goals in the league, barely outside the top 10 in goals allowed. That's not a good combination to win hockey games. Interestingly, though, him and Cam Talbot just can't get away from each other.
Yeah,
Cam
saw
Talbot
this online.
will start tonight. Three times. He played for McLellan in LA and with the Edmonton Oilers previously. So this will be the third tour of duty together for goaltender and coach.
That's probably got to be the most ever.
And it's like one of the most important things, like goaltender and coach are attached at the hip. So a lot of the success for a goaltender is tied to the coach. A lot of success for the coach tied to the goaltender. We'll see if third time is a charm for the combination of McClellan and Talbot.
All right, we mentioned it if you missed, but no Berube. No Berube tonight. There would be Berube tonight. No Matthews tonight. He said, quote, doing better. We'll update you tomorrow, but out for tonight and Saturday. Leafs on the front end of a back-to-back. They'll play tomorrow night at Scotiabank Arena. 7 o'clock against Washington Capitals. Looks like Ovi's making his return or about to make his return in time for that one. So no Matthews tonight, no Matthews tomorrow. Joe Wall will get the start tonight. And Chris Tanev was a game-time decision. We saw him out there during warm-ups. Looks like he might be penciled in. Let's go through the Leafs lines.
Yeah, there was a surprise here. So let's not take this at complete gospel, but this is what we're expecting tonight from Berube's Leafs. Top line, we'll have Max Pacioretty, John Tavares, and Mitch Marner. Second line, Nylander on his island with Matthew Nyes and Pontus Holmberg. It will be McMahon, Domi, and Robertson on the third line. And the fourth line will feature Lorenz, Kampf, and Connor Dewar tonight, so no Ryan Reeves for the Maple Leafs. On the back end, Riley and Philippe Myers. McCabe and Tanev expected the shutdown pair back with Benoit and Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the right side tonight with Joseph Woll starting.
A lot of Myers lately on my screen and in my life. I agree with your thoughts about why Timmins hasn't been getting any opportunities. I think I'm almost ready. Have a trip to Timmins.
Well,
here.
my theory is that there's a sort of not a showcase thing, but like, okay, let's see what you got before we like actually know what we need to go out and get. I think Timmins had a long run purposely. I think Philippe Myers is getting more than enough, somewhat purposely. And this team will be searching for a Morgan Riley pairing or defense.
As they have been
partner.
for quite a long
Once
time.
again, it seems like, the rite of passage, the annual occurrence, find Riley someone to play with. I expect they'll be doing that. I mean, it's pretty obvious what this team needs. It needs a right shot defenseman with impact. It needs a center, so you're not having Pontus Holmberg or David Kampf playing top 6 minutes, and that's what you've got in the absence of Austin Matthews.
I do like that Nyes and Nylander at least will be up on that second line. I forget what it was on our last game. It was like 3 days ago. I already forgot. But it was Kampf?
Kampf was on a top line with Marner.
That was right. So
and that was quickly switched.
Yeah, they tried to spread it a little bit. But I love that McMahon, Domi, Robertson line.
Yeah, this is all in an effort. Again, I think this
Get
is okay.
together.
Let's see it. Let's see if you can be that trio for us. Again, I think Craig Berube is purposely giving guys more than enough runway so that it's plain and obvious what they need to do.
All right, let's do the player to watch.
Let's do the player to watch. Presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. Who do you have your eye on tonight?
Okay, top line, John Tavares, centering Max Pacioretty and Mitch Marner. He's on a 5-game point streak. He's been red hot. He's plus 165 tonight to get a goal. He's got 2 goals in his last game. But we're looking through some stats on. I like when teams have. I remember playing one specific team. It's like that's the game I always get up for. Like I know I score against whomever. It was St. Lawrence for me. John Tavares versus the Red Wings. He has 52 points in his career against them, which is the second most against the Red Wings among active players. The highest is Patrick Kane, which is funny because now he's a Red Wing. So John Tavares loves playing the Red Wings. He's got his most career points per game against the Red Wings, 1.37 in when you look at it all. So he's got 52 points, 20 goals, 32 assists in 38 games. So I love it. Historically, he cooks. So let's see if he can cook tonight.
Here's the lines for the Detroit Red Wings tonight. Vladimir Tarasenko, Dylan Larkin, and Lucas Raymond, the top
That's
line.
all you're scoring.
DeBrincat, Kopp, and Kane. I mean, there's a couple guys pretty good there on that second line, and you're wondering, why can't they score goals? I'm not really sure, but there's some problems there in the top 6, given that it's not clicking at the rate you expect. Rasmussen, Comfort and Fisher on the third line, Joe Veleno, Casper, and Berggren on the fourth line. Edvinsson and Siders the top pair, Sherratt and Petrie, 2 veterans, round out the top 4 with Gustafsson and an old friend, Justin Hall, playing third pairing defense minutes for the Detroit Red Wings. It will be, again, McClellan's favorite son, Cam Talbot, in net, opposing Joseph.
Well, he has to start for the new regime, right?
I think so.
Even if he wasn't ready to start, they would have found a way.
At least there's a familiarity there.
That's really sweet. There's a little holiday cheer for you. We mentioned it, Leafs, not like they're on a downward spiral, but you got them sputtering a bit.
Yeah, they're only 5-5 in their last 10. Lost both games since Matthews went down, and I think you can excuse that. However, they've had a great record without Matthews for a bit. But yeah, last 3 weeks it's been kind of blah. I think is safe to say. Outscored 35-31. They've spent a lot of time trailing. Only 4 teams have trailed more than the Maple Leafs over that stretch. And usually when you're trailing, your metrics look good, your shots and you're forcing the issue a little bit, scoring chances for and against look pretty good, but they don't really for the Maple Leafs. So even despite trailing a lot, they haven't been able to tilt the ice, which means, it hasn't been overly spectacular in any way for the Maple Leafs, despite, kind of treading water 5-5, not mostly, but in some points without Austin Matthews.
One little tidbit to take you to break before we get to puck drop on the other side. As of our own Kipper on Sportsnet about 5 minutes ago, quote, Austin Matthews is feeling better after the Christmas break, and there appears to be no structural damage. That's what you like to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll get you set for puck drop on the other side. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in.
Hockey fans, insiders, Leafs fans, Red Wings fans too. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us. The Wings have a new coach, and the Buds are here to disrupt the flow of the new coach bump. Let's get after it tonight, Leafs fans. Thank you for hanging out with us. Please take a second and hit that like button down below and share this link out so we can get more hockey fans hanging out with us here on Toronto Sports Insider tonight to cheer on our Leafs in Detroit. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in the chat. Thanks for hitting that like button.
Day in Pizzaville when I realised...
Did Albert Einstein invent the theory of relativity after hearing 7 free sex, free sex, free sex? Did Steve Jobs create the iPhone while eating a Ponzo combo? Next up, Quentin Tarantino's It Was a Rainy Day ads that never made it to air. Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
Christmas Eve, Bad Santa made his return.
Come on up!
History was made in 2004 when Eminem partnered with SiriusXM to launch Shade 45.
Well, look what the store...
Hear stories and highlights as Marshall and special guests rewind the tapes. 20 years of Shade 45. Replays throughout the week on Channel 45 and at home with SiriusXM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. 2 organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only 2 players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And yeah, and Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired. What are you doing running your team's draft? No excuses.
Under review
with Mick Kern,
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio,
SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. We're about to bring the ball right now. Sound the alarm! On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs on the road to face the Detroit Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena. Leafs on a 3-game losing streak, or looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak, for the first time this season, while the Red Wings just got a new head coach. So both in a bit of a prove-it mentality right after the holidays.
Yeah, Todd McClellan officially taking over tonight after Derek Lalonde unceremoniously given his walking papers on Boxing Day.
Sad.
Tough go for the former assistant coach and Stanley Cup champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning. But that's the breaks when the Yzer plan continues to kind of sputter and fail. If you want to go that far, I think it is worth going that far because maybe they're looking at, if there isn't a massive turnaround here under McClellan, 9 years without going to the postseason. There was once a time where it was a quarter century. They were just every year we're in the playoffs, and maybe chasing that quarter century has bit them a little bit here, but no one expected it to take this long for Steve Yzerman, a legend of the franchise and an executive superstar, if based on what he built in Tampa, for it to take this long for Detroit to turn things around, and yet they're the same team once again, it seems, this year. We'll see if it changes under McClellan.
Yep, second last in the Atlantic, 13-17-4 record, but they've won 5 of the last 7 meetings with the Maple Leafs, so they always get up for this one. Let's take a look at your key to victory, Justin. It's brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Yeah, I think the coach thing is pretty key here. It's going to be an opportunity for these Red Wings to try to impress their new bench boss. And how do you impress? Well, shots and shot quality and making sure this is a high event game. So if you are the Toronto Maple Leafs, drag it into the mud. Make this game low event. Make it, you have to earn every bit of ice, at least in terms of scoring chances and quality looks. If the Maple Leafs can dumb things down, well, they can make sure the Red Wings can't have huge offensive nights at an individual level in an effort to be like, hey, Todd, you should give me more ice time. The dead coach bounce, well, it's a real thing. If the Maple Leafs can make sure this one is less eventful, then maybe they can come out of this with a victory.
Yeah, Leafs second in the Atlantic, still holding on strong to that, 21-12-2, but 5-5 in their last 10 games, and they lost both games since Austin Matthews hasn't been in the lineup, and they're not going to be with Matthews for the next 2. So got to turn that trend around. They were traditionally really great without Austin Matthews. At this point, though, they look like they've lost a little steam. So without him tonight and tomorrow on a back-to-back, looking to find some secondary scoring without him.
Yeah, definitely. This is, they got through these games previously without Austin Matthews, but an extended period, the situation, the context around, hey, like, is he going to be okay? I think that makes it harder to just be like, okay, we're going to be good here and get victories without Austin Matthews. Clearly, he leaves a huge void in the lineup, and it's on just a couple of guys, really, to pick up the slack. John Tavares, William Nylander, Mitch Marner. They're going to have to be great because the scoring just in the absence of Austin Matthews, it's very clear who it has to come from because this team is top heavy and even more top heavy without number 34.
All right, Puck Drop is next with Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. You got Leafs and Red Wings. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Don't miss a feast of festive football on Sirius XM FC. Ho, ho, ho. From the drama of the Premier League
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah
to the excitement of Serie A.
What a start for Inter!
Enjoy your holiday season with the gift of live soccer.
Stupendously magnificent!
Courtesy of Sirius XM FC, channel 157 in the car, and the Sirius XM app. Head to SiriusXM.com/soccer schedule for all the match listings.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that. Enjoyed it in Boston. Love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes. And we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
So I always...
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The person that's hanging out with us listening to the Leafs and the Red Wings, or, well, you might be over at the Canada-Latvia game by now. Why haven't you hit that subscribe button yet? Get on it. Hit that subscribe button and help this amazing community keep growing on our way to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. I could say, hit the bell. We're live all the time. We are. Just thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Go Canada, go. It's a fun night here on TSI.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter. Haaland scores the hat-trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs and the Red Wings kicking things off on the post-Christmas break as the Leafs are involved in another of these home and home back-to-back situations. Well, not home and home, but back-to-back situations. This is the 9th of 16. The Red Wings have 10 in their schedule going forward. But we have the defenders of the disc dwellings to tell you about, brought to you by Molson. Molson, everyone in. It'll be Joseph Woll, 9-6-0 for the Maple Leafs, and a 2.61 goals against average, 908 save percentage that has dropped since he was up around 920 just a few games ago. And it will be at the other end of the rink, Cameron Talbot, who is 6-8-2, 2.79, and a 912 save percentage. And he's working for a new coach.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Son McClellan,
3 straight teams now. Todd McClellan has had Cam Talbot, Edmonton Oilers, LA Kings, and now here in Detroit.
We're underway as it's shot into the Red Wing zone, and the Leafs go into the forecheck. Trying to get the puck around back of the net was Tavares. A good hit there by Pacioretty, but the Wings come away with it, and it is Seider getting it out at center, deflected by Tarasenko, in on goal and scooped aside quickly by Joseph Woll. Played back of the net for Chris Tanev. Tanev getting ahead on the wing, and out comes Tavares to the line and in, weaves to the left wing side, rolled it towards the front of the net, easily cut off by the Red Wing defense, and played out at center where Tarasenko tips it down into the Leaf end. Ekman-Larsson getting it on to Benoit, back to Ekman-Larsson. He backhands it high off the glass, and it goes into the crowd at Little Caesars Arena in downtown Detroit, Michigan.
Well, where the Leafs are trying to avoid losing 3 straight in regulation for the first time this year. They did have a 3-game winless streak that ended the third game as a shootout loss in Boston, or not shootout, overtime loss in Boston against the Bruins. We were talking about shootouts before we came on the air.
Yes.
Not had one this year.
Not many.
In fact, you've got to go back to the last shootout they had was at home against Carolina on March 16th last season. Wow. And I'll tell you, the last road one was over a year ago in Boston, November 2nd, 2023.
Wow. Puck at the Toronto blue line. Holmberg dropping it back. Nylander weaves out with a pass to the left wing side, but it was in behind the defenseman who was trying to jump into the rush, Morgan Rielly, and now the Red Wings shoot it back in. Wall played it around the boards, and it's come all the way out at center ice and back to Detroit territory. Red Wings going back to recover the puck. Brought out at center ice now by Raymond. He gets it down into the Toronto zone. Ekman-Larsson pumping it around the boards. It'll come back around behind to the near side. Chipped into the side of the net. Pass in front. DeBrincat trying to jam it in. That was stopped by Wall. Puck still in the Toronto zone off his stick. And the Leafs will push it out into neutral ice, forcing Justin Hall back into his own zone. He'll get it to his defense partner, Eric Gustafsson, and he'll shoot it down into the Toronto end. Leafs regrouping as both teams are changing. A long up on the right wing side. Did McMahon touch it? Nope. The answer is the whistle. And so it'll come all the way back into the Toronto zone as a result. Hope everybody enjoyed their Christmas season and had a good time. It's when you've got grandkids, things get ramped up in a big time hurry. And certainly Caleb and Brooklyn and little Brody, who's only 3 months old, he's just going through it for the first time. They made off like bandits. I mean bandits.
Oh, like our kids didn't.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Divorced kids do better than anyone.
Yeah, here's a chance now for Camp, and he works in, and a shot is swallowed up by Cameron Talbot. Good point. Good point.
I feel I regret my kids that is it didn't happen sooner.
Do you know how bad he feels? Watch him. He's going to open the wallet this year at Christmas. Look out.
Yeah, that nothing beats Christmas guilt.
No, exactly. David Camp playing in his 500th NHL game here this evening.
Oh, by the way, Jeff Petrie, remember, had 2 goals as far as we knew the last time the Leafs played in Detroit about a month ago. And one of them was changed to, remember the point shot? Wondering if it was just a screen on Joseph Wall. Well, Michael Rasmussen got credit for the goal. So Jeff Petrie still ended up with a 2-point night, a goal and an assist, but not the 2-goal night that we had thought I thought it was until
next morning.
The game notes.
Brought in by the Red Wings, chipped into the corner, looking in front of the net for Sherrod, and it didn't reach him, and the puck comes up on the wing, and the Leafs are going to break it out. Laurent skates to center. He's going to shoot it in. Connor Dewar into the rush, trying to get to it. Couldn't come up with it, but back of the net, a centering pass in front. It rolls in. Laurent's from behind the net. It ricocheted off a couple of people. Now he's celebrating with Dewar. Did it go off Dewar first? But it may have gone off Sherrod, trying to work in front.
Either way, it's going to be somebody's first of the year. And it might be David Camp. Lorentz got in behind the net, threw it out front.
Yeah, it was
Dewar.
Camp. Yep.
Both Camp and Dewar were there. And it was David Camp I mean, just shovels it in. Pass comes from behind the net, and Kampf is about a foot outside the blue paint and then shoveled it in short side on Talbot. And the Leafs have a 1-0 lead, and hard to believe, but the Red Wings now have the opening goal in a game just 13 times in 36 games.
Well, David Kampf celebrating his 500th career game, gets his first goal of the season on a bang-bang play from the side of the goal, but a good centering pass by Lorenz. Around back of the net in the Toronto zone now. Trying to work out in front of the net is Lucas Raymond. Raymond tied up, and the puck goes free, and Chris Tanev, who did not play in the last game in Toronto, is back into the lineup for Toronto, and the Maple Leafs has a shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Marner tripped and fell. The puck maintained by Detroit. Played in along the boards. Tanev a little slow getting to it in the near corner. Ties up his man. Tavares trying to fish it free. And it comes free, and it is knocked to the line, but not out. And now it ricochets off a shin pad and comes all the way back into Detroit territory. Larkin is there. Got it up on the left wing, but it is played back into the zone, and Rasmussen will organize for Detroit. Kampf from Lorentz is the goal-scoring play that opens the scoring for the Maple Leafs at 2:29 of the first period. Down into the area back of the Toronto goal. Trying to dig it free there was Rasmussen. He's too well covered. Kicked by Benoit back of the goal to his defense partner. And Nylander finding open ice to try and skate his way out. Backhands it out at center, only to have it go off his stick and quickly shot right back in again by Detroit. Red Wings are changing. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with time and space with a lead pass to center. Leafs Lorenz couldn't get in over the line, though. Brought back by Alex DeBrincat. He drops it off. Shot from a sharp angle. Went high. In fact, it may have caromed off the crossbar and goes up into the screen and out of play off the stick of Andrew Kopp.
Andrew Kopp hasn't scored in his last 6 since a 2-goal game against the Buffalo Sabres.
Shoulder of Wall, I think, or the glove.
Oh, yeah, just glanced off, and it might have actually gone off Meyer's stick first and then elevated a little higher. But as you mentioned, the save percentage for Wall has changed. I think the Leafs have given up far more off the rush in the last 5 or 6 games, and that's affected the goals against average. But it seems that since Anthony Stolar stole that game in New Jersey, the hockey gods haven't been too kind to the Leafs.
Leafs bring it in over the line. Riley got it into the slot, but Dewar couldn't get a handle on it. The Red Wings organizing in their own zone with a lead pass off a skate down into Toronto territory. Grabbed off there and fed by Myers around the boards, but it doesn't clear. Myers ties his man up. The puck back behind the net. Riley poked it free. Leafs get it up on the wing, and Dewar has an avenue to get it out. And he works through center with a pass ahead, and it is quickly shot into Detroit territory. Red Wings go back to retrieve the puck. Both teams are changing. Sherratt with a bank pass to center. Comes in across the line, nicely taken off the skates to work in on the wing by Raymond. Gets it back to the point of shot. That was stopped, and it bowled over Wall as there was a collision of players in front of him. Leafs break the other way. Robertson in across the line. Backhanding around back of the net for Bobby McMahon. He couldn't come up with it. Red Wings have it again, and they're coming through neutral ice. Working in on the right wing, looking in front of the net for Tarasenko, and the pass was intercepted and now flipped high into the neutral zone by Toronto, but then gloved ahead by a Red Wing defender, and it's going to turn into a glove pass. And with 14:24 left to play in the first period, we go. Are we? No, I don't think so. Are we?
No. Jake McCabe, I thought, on that last shot that the Red Wings took, Jake McCabe was really slow getting up. It was Dylan Larkin right in front of Joseph Wall. And it seemed to be a real struggle for Jake McCabe to get back on his feet.
Like it may have clipped him on the inside of the knee, maybe? Yeah. Wasn't a rising shot. The last one was up around his ears, and that cost him a few games.
You didn't see that one.
No. Right in the back of the helmet. Shot deflected in front of the net by Marner, and it just went wide of the goal. Grabbed off on the near boards. Edmondson gets it out and down the ice, but no icing here as the linesmen have waved it off. Tanev The pass back to Tavares, who backhands it ahead. Marner couldn't get to it, then steals it. Marner on the left wing side and brought it over the line with a wrist shot taken there. And I think that was McCabe, and so he must be all right. The puck comes back along the boards, and it is McCabe as he plays it down into the corner. Fisher for the Red Wings. Organizing back in his own zone. Edmondson will go around back of the net. With 13:38 to play in the first period, the Leafs leading 1-0. Played out at center ice, and here's Kane in across the line. An easy wrist shot deflected wide of the net by Wall, and then a centering pass was deflected, and I think Wall may have got a piece of that. Coming across the middle in front of the net was Alex DeBrincat. The Leafs come away with the loose puck and are able to skate it out at center. Working in on the left wing, trying to go to the net with Pontus Holmberg. It goes into the corner. Holmberg against the boards, trying to fish it free, but Nyes couldn't help him out. And now the Red Wings with a long lead pass that has gone astray and gone the length of the ice. And icing is called by one of the linesmen, who happened to be Tyson Baker and Scott Cherry this evening, as Chris Rooney and Justin Kia are the referees.
Yeah,
Good save by Wall.
Yeah, you were right. It was almost DeBrincat with a redirection, the pass from the right wing boards. And Joseph Wall was able to get his blocker on it. And and not to be critical, but I think you'd have to, in all honesty, say the Leaf goaltending has been average. Hasn't been terrible. Hasn't been the reason they were losing. But they were spoiled with goalies stealing games, both Wall and Anthony Stolarz earlier in the season.
Puck in the Toronto zone. Domi goes to the defense back of the net. A pass comes out at center ice. Flipped in on the left wing now. Robertson trying to get around the defenseman but couldn't. But then McMahon comes out with it. He's going to try and drag it back to the net, but had it knocked off his stick, and the Red Wings get it ahead. And Dylan Larkin will feed it off on the left wing for Justin Hall, who gains center ice and shoots it in, but it ended up going up high and out of play. A break in the action with 12:23 to go in the first period as the Maple Leafs lead 1-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Feel that 3 a.m. euphoria any time of the day on BPM.
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! What's up, Leafs Nation? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs and the Red Wings. It's a doubleheader here on TSI. We've got the Canada-Latvia game going, the Leafs and the Wings, 2 original 6 teams matching up in Detroit. Beautiful night. Now's the time for you to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Please let us know your city and state, city and province, your international country of origin, where you're at, hanging out with us, having a good time, cheering on our Maple Leafs on Toronto Sports Insider. Now, once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in the chat where you're watching from. Now, let's get back to the hockey.
XMF. The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter. Haaland scores the hat-trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs lead the game 1-0 and are moving from left to right on your radio dial as the shots on goal favor Detroit 7-2 at this point in the hockey game.
Red Wings have actually gone 6 straight games without hitting the 30-shot mark. But are on pace to do that so far tonight. Leafs haven't really given up anything. Maybe the DeBrincat opportunity was clear-cut. But they haven't had a whole lot of control of the puck down in the Red Wing zone.
Tavares waved out of a face-off right at center ice. Larkin and Marner, and Larkin won it cleanly, and the Red Wings shoot it into the Toronto zone. Bouncing puck to the side of the goal, comes out in front of the net, and it's swept aside and taken to safety by Tanev. Tanev playing it ahead. Austin Matthews still not in the lineup, not likely, and is not going to play on Saturday against the Red Wings. Against Washington. So lots of speculation there. Here's Marner in across the line. Weaves to the left wing side. Drops it back for Myers. Wrist shot coming. Blocked in front. Pass in front of the net. Good save made there by Talbot. They score! Marner! Set up perfectly by John Tavares. They turn the tables on each other as Tavares gets the primary assist on a goal by Mitch Marner, and it's 2-0.
The Leafs have a couple of great opportunities, but the pass that finishes it off is John Tavares from the circle to the left of Cam Talbot. He finds the rebound and passes it between his own skates. He's facing the left wing boards, and he passes it between his own skates. Backhand pass from one circle to the other, right across the slot, and Marner one-times it into the net. And on just their fourth shot of the night, the Leafs have a 2-0 lead.
Jimmy, he had a lot of net to shoot at because Talbot stumbled and never even made an effort to get across the net.
Well, I think at that point, it's a rebound that goes to Tavares. You think you've got to get over to play that.
Absolutely.
And then Tavares pulls off the Harlem Globetrotter play with the through-the-leg blind pass across the top of the slot that Marner was able to cap off.
Played down into the Toronto zone, so the Leafs with a 2-0 lead. And it's brought to center by Dewar. In on the right side then for David Camp. Oh, and he just missed Lorenz. And Lorenz from a sharp angle has the puck stopped by Talbot and swallowed up with a face-off coming in the Detroit zone.
Well, it's been a tough stretch for Cam Talbot as well. He's battled injuries. He's lost 4 straight coming into this one. In fact, his last win was November 29th against New Jersey. So it's been a bit of a stretch, but for Mitch Marner, that's his first goal in the last 7 games.
11th overall.
And only his second in the last 14.
47th point for Marner. Tavares with his 35th point. A shot from the point. That was stopped by Talbot. Centering pass, knocked away by the Red Wings. Myers gets the additional assist on that goal. Lorenz got the lone assist on the opening goal by Camp as Benoit takes his man in against the end boards, and Berggren. The puck goes around back of the Toronto goal. Back to the point. Paul with a shot. That deflected just wide. Wall has lost his goal stick, and it's in around back of the net, so it's out of his reach. Shot there, stopped by Wall, trying to gain the front of the net, but a penalty coming for cross-checking here. The DNA evidence is all over the ice, though, as Simon Benoit was trying to clean a little bit of house in front of Wall and was a little over-exuberant on it. Yeah, once the DNA evidence was on the ice, he just grabbed him and gave him a pretty good shove to the ice.
Well, but the thing is, the call is a cross-check. So it was before the Red Wing player had gone down.
I think he may have broke his stick before we saw the replay of what actually also went down.
But that's a poorly timed dive is what I'm trying to say.
So the penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Red Wings power play is 11th in the NHL.
Just 1 for 20 in their last 8 games.
Red Wings down into the corner. Get it back to the point. Sider banks it back in for Lucas Raymond. It came to the side of the net. Back to Raymond at the near half boards. Back to the point. Sider gets it back to Raymond. He mishandles the puck. Tanev trying to take advantage. Got it freed up, but then Marner couldn't sift it by the Detroit players. It comes back into the attack now for Detroit. Centering pass Sider to Raymond. Raymond holds down low. Jam play. Stop. Rebound. Covered by Joseph Wall. And he's got Tanev and McCabe on their knees in the goal crease area, trying to take up a little more room of that net.
Well, Alex DeBrincat went from the front of the net to the side. A lot of movement from DeBrincat. Before he finally gets to the side of the net. Right-handed shooting winger for the Red Wings, gets to the right of Joseph Wall and then tries to stuff it around his far skate on the left pad, but Wall was able to cut him off.
Red Wings win the face-off. Raymond to the far side for Kane. Kane gets it back to the point. Sider to Raymond in front of the net, Larkin. And that went off a body in front of the net. I think it was Oliver Ekman-Larsson who blocked it. Centering pass off a skate. And it's going to carry him out at center ice. The Leafs are going to get some change done to their penalty killers with 1:08 to go in the infraction. Red Wings dropping the puck back and bringing it on through neutral ice is Kane. Got it in on the right wing side. Working down the boards was Larkin. Back to the point to Sider. Down into the left wing or the right wing corner it goes. Off a stick. Back to Sider. Near side for Raymond. Down low. Trying to control it but not doing a good job of it was DeBrincat. Back to the point. Sider a drive. High over top of the net off the glass. Poked along the boards but Raymond has it back to Sider. Over on the right wing side looking for Larkin in front of the goal. And it went off his stick and now racing for it to get it out is Nyes and he backhands it out and down the ice. Leafs penalty kill 8th in the NHL, 20 of 114. They've given up 2 and 10 times short in their last 5 games. So staying out of the penalty box, they've been better. Into the corner, the Red Wings getting it now with 10 seconds left in the infraction. Back to the point, it comes to Ben Sherratt on the left wing side. Sherratt into the corner, a shot that went wide of the goal, and it comes around on the near wing. Leafs trying to pin it there, and they successfully get it out as Benoit escapes the penalty box without damage. 2-0 Toronto. 8:20 to go, first period. And across the line comes Petrie. Jeff Petrie around back of the net. Had it poked off his stick there momentarily by Myers. It comes off the wing. Poked out at center, and the Leafs break it out. Nylander launching it high and over the line. Trying to get there was Tavares, and he was interfered with. And the right arm went up. We could see it plainly on our screen. And so it is a penalty coming here to the Red Wings to send the Leafs to their first power play of the game, leading 2-0.
I think it's Jeff Petrie is going to go.
All right, we'll be back with the power play. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every...
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs and the Red Wings. We're live right now for Canada and Latvia. Thank you to the insiders for reaching out to me and saying, come on, are you going to do these games? You're going to do these games? We're doing the games. And we are live right now for Canada against Latvia right here on TSI. So thanks for hanging out with us here during the Leafs game. And head on over there, hit that like button, cheer on our boys, the Canadian boys, and let's go get that gold at the World Juniors. Should be a fun night tonight against Latvia too. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go!
Brew dealer for details.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
4-0 Toronto!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Christmas Day wasn't happy for everyone, and that includes a very close friend of mine, Bob Breckles, whose dad, Bob Breckles Sr., passed away. And what a great individual he was. We had a lot of fun with Mr. Breckles going on road trips and taking him to Lambeau Field and whatnot and Notre Dame Stadium. So to Mickey and Jacob and Maggie and Evan, our condolences on the passing of Bob Breckles Sr. on Christmas Day. Leafs going to the power play. Petrie's in the penalty box for interference. And the Leafs with a 2-0 lead can really throw a hammerlock on this game. Puck along the boards brought in by Nyes. Into the near corner. Nyes gets it back into the slot for Riley. Off on the far side, Nylander. Down low for Marner. Marner in the corner, back to Riley. Top of the circles, drops for Marner. Marner moves to the middle of the ice, down low for Riley. A shot. That went off a leg and went wide. Kept alive by Marner on the near boards. Back it goes to Morgan Riley. He walks the line and dishes back to Marner. Closing with a pass that went off a leg and deflected into the corner. Nylander gets it back to Riley. Riley back to Marner. Marner closing. Marner works in, then circles back. Works back to the top of the circle. Down into the corner for Tavares. And it went off his stick, off the end boards, and Karam to the side of the net. And Cameron Talbot decides he'd better hang on to that and brings a face-off in the Detroit zone. Looks like the Leafs' #1 unit's going to remain out there.
Well, the Red Wing penalty kill 31st in the 32-team NHL and penalty killing proficiency, giving up 29 goals on 93 times short.
Wow. Riley walks the line off a face-off win to Marner, closing left wing side. Pass deflected, but Nylander is able to keep it in. Marner at the blue line. Off to Riley. Across ice for Nylander. Doesn't shoot it. Circles back. Had it in his skates. Had some difficulties with it. Stretches things out, though. Works to the left wing side. A pass in front of the net is knocked away. And the Red Wings, with fresh penalty killers, go into the attack. Across the line for Kasper, a backhand shot, stopped by Wall, Leafs countering, brought on now by Pacioretty. Cross the line for Nylander. Nylander, top of the circles, down low, gets it back again from Pacioretty. To the blue line for Ekman-Larsson, now to Nylander, closing, shooting, and it was off his stick and didn't reach the net. Nylander with it again in front of the goal. Deflected into the corner. Played back along the boards by McMahon. Here's Nylander with McMahon in front of the net, providing the screen. A pass back to Domi, and his wrist shot deflected wide, and it's caromed all the way out at center ice. Oliver Ekman-Larsson waits for teammates to get onside to get it to Nylander in front. Pass in front of the goal. McMahon jamming at it. Good save by Talbot. He had to come from the far post to get over there and get a pad down and managed to knock it out.
Boy, that was a perfect read, wasn't it? He could have overplayed the pass to his right.
Domi comes through center. The penalty is expired. Got it into the corner. Trying to knock it along the boards was David Camp, but the Red Wings come up with it, and they get it out at center ice. Edvinsson getting it across the line into the left wing corner for Larkin. His centering attempt was blocked. Again, around back of the net. Tanev ties up his man sufficiently. Puck comes back along the boards for Domi. Domi outlets, and the Leafs are able to break it out. Jake McCabe will just launch it high into Detroit territory. 5:20 to go here in the first period, and the Leafs lead it 2-0. Goals coming from David Camp and Mitch Marner. Marner you might expect. Camp, not so much. First goal of the season. The Red Wings get it out at center. Blocked and broken up there and brought right back in. Almost too many men on the ice there for Detroit. But the Red Wings escape that and are able to work back into their own zone. Played back along the boards, grabbed off by Toronto and lifted deep into Detroit territory. Red Wings going back after it. And will play it up on the left wing boards. They'll get across the line and slide it down into the Toronto zone. Around back of the net, it comes to Myers. Myers trying to play it out. And the Red Wings cut it off. Kept in by Justin Hall. Former Leaf gets it back to the net. Rasmussen trying to make a play with it. That's drawn a crowd back of the net. Myers poking it free for Riley. Got it up on the wing, but Pacioretty couldn't help him out. Now Morgan Riley is battled in the corner. Puck comes back to the point. Hall just did keep it in, then works to the corner as it comes back to the point once more. Trapped there by Fisher, and he tries to get it into the slot area, but it's broken up. Leafs are going to get it out, and in a much-needed change, it'll be bought by the diligence there of Pontus Holmberg, who gets it down into the Detroit zone. 3:44 left to play in the period. Justin Hall trying to get some people organized as he stations himself back at the net.
A little sign language, too, with the directions.
Hey, whatever works. It's an international league now. Maybe sign language is a good thing to utilize. Round back of the net, down into the Toronto end, poked out at center by Nyes. It's going to slide the length of the rink, though, and an icing call is coming here against Toronto, and Jake McCabe is, I don't know, he's got his hands out. Did he lose some teeth, or I don't know what the referee is looking at. He's got his hand like it's been injured.
It's like he's showing them something, right?
Yeah.
We may end up with, it's a double minor.
You know what? It is his teeth. Wow. Oh, wow. He got clipped there.
Yeah, Lucas Raymond's stick came up accidental, but it's still going to cost the Red Wings a double minor. And Jake McCabe says, do you want proof?
Take a look.
Guess what I wanted for Christmas?
A molar and a bicuspid right here. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey everybody, Steve Torrey here, program director and host on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Hope you'll join us during this holiday season for Mad Dog Sports Radio presents The Year in Sports 2024. We'll relive all the top moments of the sports year through the eyes of all of your favorite Mad Dog Sports Radio hosts. You'll hear about the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the sports legends we lost. Mad Dog Sports Radio presents The Year in Sports 2024. Debuts Christmas Eve on Channel 82, or listen anytime on the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Jake McCabe will be visiting a dentist.
Now,
double minor for high sticking.
Looked like it was his top teeth. Does he wear a mouth guard? Or did he?
Yeah, no, some of them were in the mouth guard.
Maybe that's where he was able to find it, yeah.
Played out into the center ice by Detroit. Leafs with a double minor here. And there's 3:47 left in it. 3:04 now left in the period. Nylander coming through neutral ice. Weaves to the left wing side. Got it in on the wing. It comes back to the point to Riley. Near side for Tavares. Top of the circle. Saucered back to Marner to Riley. Left wing side. Back at the blue line. Still with it. Along the boards. They play catch with it. Riley now back to Marner, and a shot coming off a leg. Riley trying to keep it in. Won't be able to. Although I'm pretty sure he could have whacked that in around back of the net, but wanted to have control, I suppose. And the Leafs do. Here's Nylander working around back of the net. Looks for a pass in front, and it comes to the side of the goal, and Talbot is able to get his stick on it with Nyes hoping to pry it free. And there'll be a face-off coming in the Detroit zone.
When the Leafs were starting to have success in the power play, a lot of it was just old-time hockey, right?
Yeah.
Go it to the net, look
Get
for
traffic.
Rebounds, and when they seem to get into trouble, it's going back to what Pat Quinn used to call trying to pass the puck into the net.
The draw scrummed, the Leafs gaining possession. Back to the point it comes. Here's Robertson. He'll shoot it, and that one off Sider's stick and went wide. McMahon working on the boards on the far side. The puck comes free. Red Wings are breaking it out at center. Hustling through neutral ice. More Sider trying to get a shot away, and they do. And Wall has to be at the top of the crease and at the top of his game to take that wrist shot from Dylan Larkin and bring a face-off in the Toronto zone.
2:49 left in the double minor. The Lucas Raymond. I like Joseph Wall there, Joe. I mean, the Leafs have, like we said, have given up a lot more off the rush. But you see Joseph Wall there, out, a little more above the top of the crease. and squared up perfectly to Moritz Seider.
Draw one by Toronto. Dropped back and now brought on by Robertson to Domi. Domi gets it back to the blue line. Here's Pacioretty working to the sideboards to Domi on the near half wall. Domi down low. McMahon gives it back to him. Domi with it once more. Closing a pass in front. Rebound came out in front of the net. McMahon jams away at it. And a good save made there by Talbot. But the second unit getting at least the puck through and getting some traffic in front. Leafs are changing again. And the first unit coming over the boards with 2:07 to go in the double minor. Nylander gave the puck away. Shot back out at center ice by Detroit. Morgan Riley drops it back. Nylander will try it again. Over on the left wing it goes. Marner trying to work into the corner. Rubbed out by Hall, which was a bit of interference, but the puck comes free. Leafs get it in front of the net, and Nyes couldn't control it enough to get a shot away. Now he gets it back for Tavares. Tavares in the slot, thinks about shooting but doesn't. Now to Marner at the far half boards, down into the corner for Nylander. Nylander back to Marner on that far side. Back to Willie at the half wall. Looks in front of the net, down low. Marner in front for, nope, not going to Nyes. He was there. Nylander with it again, trying to chip it in front, was blocked. Tried to center again, it was blocked. Plays it back along the boards and Tavares turns. Top of the circles again. Nylander, far side, one-timer, scores! Mitch Marner again!
Comes in the second half of the double minor. But Marner with the one-timer, bottom of the left wing circle, very close to where he was when he scored the first one. But the Leafs finally execute it. Willie Nylander from the top of the right wing circle to Mitch Marner, who's almost the bottom of the left wing circle. Outside the dot, but lets it go perfectly. John Tavares will pick up the second assist on this. But this was just a dart off the stick of Mitch Marner for the one-timer. And the Leafs with a 3-0 lead with 30 seconds to go here in the first.
You know, he does have a good shot. He just doesn't use it as often as he should, right? And he scored two beauties here.
You're on pace for 100 points. I guess you can't be critical on his decision.
But you don't have the big shooter available in Matthews, so why not shoot it more? Final seconds ticking down. Leafs are going to get out of the period with a 3-goal lead as the horn brings an end to the period. David Camp with his first of the year. Then Marner with goals 11 and 12 on the season. And the Maple Leafs are enjoying unwrapping a Christmas gift in Detroit so far.
I'm sure Todd McClellan's probably thinking maybe we call another press conference because it's a tough start in his return to the Red Wings.
13 shots apiece, and the Toronto Maple Leafs with a 3-0 lead on the Red Wings. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert all probably enjoying their Christmas time and dinners and whatnot. I know I've put on too much, but I ate way too much. Huh. You? Oh, you look fine. All right. Well, anyway, we'll pass it on. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Send 2024 packing with a full-blown.
Cheers, insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Toronto Maple Leafs, Canada, both teams on the ice, same time. It's so much fun. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up with my trying to work on something really cool here with a player of the Leafs that has something to do with the World Junior Hockey Championships. Also, we just got some great stuff done with Joe Bowen for our Football Frenzy. The SickKids campaign is now up and live, and it'll be ready for New Year's Eve night when we host the college football playoff game as well as tons of other sports action that day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being an insider. Cheers. Now go Leafs go.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics.
Another shot, Redden blocked. Another chance. Game over. Bless you, boys. What a game. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel. The kid's on fire. They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel. Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. Tavares scores! Mitchell Marner!
Now, thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up!
Get him on his stick! Scores! Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scored the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Marner in across the line. Weaves to the left wing side. Drops it back for Myers. First shot coming. Blocked in front. Pass in front of the net. Good save made there by Kevin Henriksen. They score! Marner! Set up perfectly by John Tavares. They turn the tables on each other as Tavares gets the primary assist on a goal by Mitch Marner, and it's 2-0.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. As you heard, it's a 3-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 20 minutes over the Detroit Red Wings. That was a pretty holiday, cheerful period for the Maple Leafs.
So you're expecting to turn around the Detroit Red Wings, eh, Todd McClellan?
Yeah,
Not so
luck.
fast. Not
Naughty
so fast. Yeah, that was a great period for the Maple Leafs. And, you know, the last few games have not gone particularly well. But the last, several first periods have been real rough. But that was a change, certainly, for Craig Berube and the Maple Leafs. Yeah, it wasn't complete dominance, but it was a really, really strong period. 2 goals from Mitch Marner, 1 from the depths with David Kampf getting his first of the season. Just a real good period equating to a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, it was too bad I was seconds late. We heard Joe Bowen say on the radio, and too bad Armin didn't tell me this first, that it was David Kampf's 500th NHL game. So I pull up, let's see what he is to bet goal. And I was pulling it up and he scored.
Yeah.
So, if I had heard that from Armin maybe about 2 to 3 minutes earlier before he passed it on to Joe Bowen, could have made myself plus 850, but good for David Kampf. First goal of the season for him in this 23rd game. And you could just see all three of the fourth liners there just, yes, pointing at each other like, we did it. We did it.
It's, it's so obvious. There's no poker face there. They clearly don't score very often. And it was evident in the way that they celebrated that they're not scoring all that often.
That's good to see.
I couldn't believe, you mentioned 23rd game, 20th shot of the season for David Kampf playing in his 23rd game. That feels hard to do, to average less than a shot per game, especially when you briefly moonlight on a top line with Mitch Marner. Yeah, it hasn't been an overly productive season for David Kampf. He did score 11 goals one time with the Maple Leafs. Not this year, not under Craig Berube. but a big goal to kickstart things and help the Maple Leafs settle in.
He'll be red hot now. You just get one. Then you start rolling. So
that may be the case.
That starts the period for the Maple Leafs. But the next 2 goals are really, really like stunning.
Yeah,
John Tavares has been playing lights out, and this pass that he makes, and I implore you to go find it online if you're listening to us, maybe in the car next time you get a chance. You got to look at John Tavares's backwards through the leg slot pass to Mitch Marner, like tape to tape, who puts it in the net. It was awesome. It was glorious.
Yeah, it was probably top 3 at the end of the year. Primary dishes you'll see from the Toronto Maple Leafs. A beautiful assist from John Tavares. And it has me thinking, because I'm pulling it up, like the stats and everything. And Tavares is having this miraculous season. He's been great. But, still like 12 points behind Marner. Still a bunch of goals behind William Nylander. Of course, he's leading Austin Matthews. But, Matthews has had this really uneven season. But I think there's an argument to be made that he's been the team's MVP this year. And I think you can kind of toggle between guys and guys that don't include Austin Matthews, interestingly enough. Like, I think you started the year, William Nylander's been their best player. And then Mitch Marner's clearly taken over.
Don't forget Anthony Stolarz and all
and Anthony Stolarz is probably involved early on as well, or at least during the Marner stage. But I think, like, a guy who's just been relentlessly positive, no ups and downs in the game really at all, has been John Tavares. He hasn't been the most productive. He hasn't been the most dominant. He hasn't been the most anything except the most consistent player, I think, for the Maple Leafs, and consistent so much at such a high level that I think you can make the argument that he's been the team's MVP this year.
Yeah, I can see it. And I think the consistency is what's key, right? You can have a really hot streak. You can have a really great couple starts in a row if you're a goaltender, but he's just been in and out, consistent goal-scoring defensive play in the face-off circle. Like, he's just been he's having one of his best seasons ever, career year in a sense. And just that, I don't know what it is. You can make the jokes. We know what it is. But it's just been really, really a joy to watch. So gets a beautiful pass to set up Mitch Marner for the first goal for Marner in that period. And then later on in the period, on a double minor, poor Jake McCabe lost multiple teeth and a high stick. Multiple in his mouth guard. So you got to know the force. If you're getting a stick in the mouth that knocks the teeth out into the mouth guard, that that's probably a little bit of force to that. Gives him a 4-minute power play, and Marner gets another goal on a really beautiful William Nylander pass that was just tic-tac-toe. And I said to you jokingly, like, the power play looks better without Austin Matthews.
That's not a joke, unfortunately.
Yeah, because we had this debate for the whole first part of the season when Matthews was out and the power play was brutal. But no Matthews, and it's just looking a little easier. That's all I got to say.
I do think this is all very simple. It's when Austin Matthews on the power play, you're looking to set up the best goal scorer on the planet in Austin Matthews, and it's something that maybe you can key in a little too more when you're an opposing team. But when he's not around, it's just like more free flowing. It's a cross ice pass from Nylander to Marner, who's not normally the guy taking those one-timers, but Nylander has enough, you have to give him enough credit when he's steaming in the manner that he was, that you got to cheat a little bit, and you can set up not the best player that they're cheating to, but pretty much anyone. I mean, all respect to Mitch Marner, who's got 2 goals on the game, but David Camp could have scored the 2 goals that he scored tonight in all likelihood because they were that perfect in terms of the dishes, and it was certainly that from William Nylander as well, in addition to what we saw from Tavares, just a little prettier from Tavares.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Mitch Marner now on pace for a career high, 109 points. So between those guys, a couple points, a couple beautiful goals to start the first period. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side, take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard and get you set for the second period. It's a 3-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 20. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deeks.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuss shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Over to our side app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
For 40 years, listeners have pondered why Pizzaville begins every ad with these now immortal words.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
Questions like these have perplexed mankind for millennia. What is the meaning of life? What is the true nature of the universe? Will Toronto ever win the cup? Next up, is Netflix going behind the scenes of It Was a Rainy Day? Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 3-0 lead for the Leafs after 20 minutes. Let's check out the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connectsontario.ca.
3 other games ongoing, 8 total on the night. The Devils have a 2-1 lead in a big game over the Hurricanes. End of one. The Sabres are beating up on the Chicago Blackhawks. It's 4-0.
A holiday miracle.
Just 1 minute into the second period. Bruins and Blue Jackets knotted at 1 after 1. Still to come tonight. Wild and Stars. That's a big game. Predators and Blues. Avalanche and Utah. And the Golden Knights and Sharks will be the nightcap. It's also 0-0 between Latvia and Canada midway through the first period at the World Juniors.
And a potential major injury for Canada.
Yeah, Matthew Schaefer slamming into the crossbar.
He clotheslined
potential first
himself.
Overall pick in a couple years. This year. Clotheslined himself. It's a nasty one.
Hard to watch. All right, not hard to watch was that Maple Leafs first period. 3 goals, 2 gorgeous ones. And go give David Camp hard working. A+.
It was a really good David Camp goal.
It was good that was a David Camp goal. He had to draw one up. That was it.
Yeah, wasn't sure it went in. Though it clearly went in.
It went in. Good for him. All right, 3-0 lead for the Leafs after 20. Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen will have the call the second period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray. Tom Brady. We're here on Let's Go.
When you come to the playoffs, and this is another Belichickism because there's a lot of them sitting there for 20 years taking notes in the front row. I learned a lot. What you've done for 17 weeks, 18 weeks doesn't matter. It's one game. Do you play your best on this day?
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that, enjoyed it in Boston, love it here. 2 organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes, and we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on SiriusXM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM Network.
Leafs have a 3-0 lead over the Detroit Red Wings, and there have been some memorable games played. In fact, one of them, and just to one of my favorite rinks to go to, the very first game was played at the Joe Louis Arena, December 27th, 1979. And the one thing that was so interesting about that was, as the Leafs are moving from right to left on your radio dial, is that they forgot about the press box. Oh, yeah. Where are we going to put these guys? Well, so they knocked out a couple of rows of seats, and now the Leafs breaking in on a 3-on-1 and a shot. That was stopped. Pacioretty tries to center, and it was knocked away. Marner almost had his third. Red Wings back in their own zone. Some memorable nights in the Joe, though, over the years, weren't there?
Well, Marner, by the way, does have 2 career hat tricks. One of them was a 4-goal game, and it's in the building he's in right now.
Played down into the Red Wing zone. The puck around back of the net. Trying to come up with it is Rasmussen. He'll bank it into the near corner for Jeff Petrie. And it'll be played out at center ice. Red Wings chipping it in over the line with Rasmussen getting it down into the corner. He gets tied up there by Benoit. He's knocked to the ice. Benoit against the boards. Got it along, but pinching in is Petrie. Petrie gets it back of the net. Centering effort. Comes to the side of the goal. Wall gets a glove on it. Now we've got Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Michael Rasmussen having some discussions over the shoulders of the officials. No one's decided to throw a punch. A little early for Todd McClellan to go in and peel the paint after a 3-0 first period in your very first game behind the bench. But I'm sure he checked the contract to make sure it was multiple years, just to make sure. Because
yeah, you know what? And it used to seem to be, and this is just through memory, that there was always a sort of an adrenaline rush went through the team after a coaching change. Was Mario Tremblay's first game behind the Montreal bench, not when the Leafs were there?
Yep.
And there just seemed to be, and now it seems to be a little bit of a delay. Now, having said that, talked about Mitch Marner's 4-goal game in Detroit. That was an interesting one, as Leafs were up 7-2 going into the third period, and then gave up 4 in the first 5 minutes of the third. All 4 goaltenders played. Both starters were pulled.
Here the Red Wings in over the line, trying to drop it back. It comes into the slot area. Unable to get his stick on it was Andrew Kopp. Now Kane plays it back to the blue line. Hall sends it back in for Kane at the half boards. Chipped away on the wing, but kept alive. It comes back to Kane at the blue line. Fed down in deep. Red Wings try to organize here. Kopp tries to get it freed up. Kane. A little drop pass off the wing now with Gustafsson trying to get a shot. Knocked away by Wall. Red Wings give the puck up, though, and they play it themselves out into the center ice area. Yeah, that was an interesting night. And Marner's 4th goal made it what?
9-7. Marner actually scored 3 consecutive goals in the second period for the natural hat trick.
Played into the Toronto zone again. Myers got it along the boards. Domi able to free it up. Myers with time and space plays it off the glass, but doesn't get it by the defenseman. The puck still in the Toronto end. Grabbed off by Morgan Riley. He'll try the other side. That didn't get out either. Wings pressing here, and the Leafs just need to clear the zone, and finally they do. Sider will backpedal to the Detroit zone. Brought in over the line now by Toronto. Working wide on the left wing is McMahon. Bobby McMahon trying to send the puck in deep. Got it back towards the blue line. And Jake McCabe, the toothless wonder, is able to get it down into the Detroit end, but the Wings get it out again. Long shoot in, steered wide of the net by Wall. Along the boards, McCabe gets it ahead, and it'll be brought out into the center ice area then by Tavares. He doesn't get much further. Wings bring it right back in. They've been much better here in the second period to start. Getting it back to the point. Kept alive by Petrie. And along the half boards with or at least with Edmondson. He can't keep it in. It comes out at center, and Larkin will regroup. Shot in again by Detroit's Jeff Petrie. Ann Arbor, Michigan. They've got 5 players from the state of Michigan on the Red Wing team this year. Back to the point. Edmondson, a shot right on. That was stopped. The rebound knocked into the corner as it rolled away from Wall while he was trying to get his glove on it. Back of the net for Tanev. Tanev with a pass up the middle. Leafs get some time and space, and it's Marner providing it, but he can't control the puck. He'll get a change of players, and that's about it. Lucas Raymond gets it right back down into the Toronto zone. Tanev playing it around the boards. He missed the last game, probably just banged up with, they called it lower body, but he's been hit with enough vulcanized rubber over the ear blocking shots that getting a night off is probably allowed. Now he gets his pocket picked, though, and a centering pass went off a stick, and the Leafs still don't have control. Brought on now again by Kane with a shot in traffic. That's blocked. The rebound blocked by a sprawling Jake McCabe. What a great block that was. Tanev gives it back to him, and now Nyes finally with some skating room gets to center and in on goal, rolling it into the corner. Red Wings play it back to the blue line, and Kane turns there. Leafs were slow to get their defense on because they were changing. Into the corner it goes. Oliver Ekman-Larsson after it. Played up on the wing. Nyes backhands high to center, but out of the reach of Connor Dewar.
Well, Leafs have got to stop hitting the snooze button here to start this period. 3-0 lead into the second, but they've been right back on their heels. And you know the Red Wings, they get one. And they can start coming. 14:48 to go here in the second.
Offside at the Toronto blue line.
Mitch Marner had the one opportunity off the rush, but I mean, since then the Wings have been quicker to pucks, making plays, throwing it to the net. And Jake McCabe may have saved a goal off the stick of, is that DeBrincat? I think that was able to let it go.
Mitch Marner's played 27 games against the Detroit Red Wings, including this one. 17 goals, 17 assists, 34 points amassed thus far. Wings win the draw in their own zone. Play it around the boards. And out at center ice it comes. Played in over the line. Swept around the boards. Too far for Sherratt. And the Leafs come away with the loose puck, and it's brought to center ice and flipped into the zone by Pacioretty. He goes in after it. Took a hit on the boards there by Sider. And the Red Wings come out with it as Sherratt gets through neutral ice with a pass on the right wing. And across the line is Berggren. Berggren banks it off the end boards. A little bit too far for Sider. And the Leafs trying to work it out. And it's underneath the fallen Pacioretty, and he's able to slide it out into neutral ice. Put it in his hip pocket and took a slide along the ice to get it out. I don't know if they have pockets. Now brought in by Raymond. Raymond's shot deflected off the stick of Pontus Holmberg and went wide. They collide and go down in a heap on the far boards. Leafs are able to push it out into neutral ice. Nyes racing after it. Nyes got across the line, but couldn't get it in front of the goal. Red Wings send it right back in again. Lucas Raymond with a pass. Deflected into the corner by Riley. Punched to the line, but not out. Kept in by Jeff Petrie. Into the slot area, but no shot delivered. And the Leafs come away with the loose puck. And Pontus Holmberg just gets it airmailed and gets it out into the center ice area. Red Wings playing it back into their own zone. 3-0 Toronto here in the second period. Wings bring it in over the line. Trying to drop it back. Played into the corner. They've had the majority of puck possession here in this second period. Down into the corner then for Hall. Justin Hall circles the goal to the near corner. Dropping it back along the boards. tries to get it back again. He's down low, back of the net, wrapping around. Went off the stick of Wall and comes out towards the blue line, and now kicked out at center ice. And the Leafs are going to get it about 7 or 8 feet further before the Wings corral it around their own blue line. Played back, get over the line. Leafs get it back out. Nick Robertson mishandles the puck. Give away again. And then the Red Wings make an errant pass, and it's going to turn into a much-needed icing here for Toronto as it'll come back down into the Detroit Red Wings zone. John Tavares with a couple of assists here tonight. The other night, in his hat trick, he scored his 201st. Or his second goal of the game, not the hat trick, but the second goal of the game against the Winnipeg Jets. 201 goals as a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Yeah, and then only the 5th player all time, I believe, to score 200 goals with 2 different franchises.
He's had a marvelous career here as Leaf gets hooked to the ice without a call, but after the 3 straight penalties assessed Detroit, you kind of figure the whistle's put away a little bit. Played down into the corner again. Another trip there as McCabe got hauled down, and the Leafs were able to get it out. Now here's Lorenz working in on the left wing. Steven Lorenz rings the boards to the far side. Kicked by Dewar back in behind the net. It comes back to the point to Riley. A shot that was stopped by Talbot. Now a backhand try in front. Another shot. Talbot down, and he has it. He was looking the wrong way when Dewar brought it out on the near side, and Dewar really just kind of slapped it into his pad, and Talbot really had no idea where he was, but was able to recover and get a glove on the subsequent rebound to stop play. It is a 3-0 Toronto lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, 3-point shot.
Hockey fans, insiders, Leafs fans, Red Wings fans too. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us. The Wings have a new coach, and the Buds are here to disrupt the flow of the new coach bump. Let's get after it tonight, Leafs fans. Thank you for hanging out with us. Please take a second and hit that like button down below and share this link out so we can get more hockey fans hanging out with us here on Toronto Sports Insider tonight to cheer on our Leafs in Detroit. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you back in the chat. Thanks for hitting that like button.
From $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
These immortal words have begun every Pizzaville commercial for 40 years.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
But who is the enigmatic voice of Pizzaville? Rumors suggest it may be Nicolas Cage. Could it be Babu from Seinfeld? Others claim Jennifer Lopez is the voice. Next up, the voice of Pizzaville reveals which Spice Girl he dated. Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Willie Nylander trying to do something that is kind of unique. 50 goals
calendar year,
in the calendar year. Yeah. He needs one more. He's got 2 whacks at it, of course. The afternoon game on New Year's Eve is a 1 o'clock start. Well, I guess he's got 3 good whacks at it here, right? He's got a few games left.
I don't know if they'll be getting him the puck, though, if he does it.
No.
In fact, somebody's going to have to tell him, I'm pretty sure.
Bounce down into the zone. Myers takes his man to the boards. Leafs trying to dig it free. Red Wings after it in the Toronto end. Back to the point. Shot comes in front of the net. Big scramble and a lot of bodies in front. And Nyes is able to come away with the loose puck and skate it to center, but he can't get it in deep. He'll drop it off to Morgan Riley, who carries into the zone. Riley works to the right wing side. Now looks for an outlet. Gives it off to Nylander. Nylander from a sharp angle shot, and that deflected off a stick and went harmlessly wide. And it's out into the center ice area where it is played to Tanev from McCabe. McCabe getting it ahead on the right side. Pontus Holmberg couldn't get it in deep. He heads off. That's a chance for Nyes to bring it in. Nyes kicking it back on the wing now to Tavares. Tavares works into the slot area but doesn't shoot it. Then dropped it back for McCabe. A shot blockered away by Talbot. And the Red Wings are going to play it off the boards and get it out into neutral ice. 10:43 left to play in the period. Leafs back in their own zone. Chris Tanev getting it ahead at center for Marner. Marner's pass got ahead for Tavares, dropped off for Pacioretty, and on the backhand try, stopped, and there was a juicy rebound there, but it bounced over Tavares' stick. Leafs are getting a change orchestrated. Pacioretty couldn't get it in deep for them, and it's back down to the Toronto zone where Myers, or at least Benoit, had to stick handle around one of the officials. A loose puck down to the side of the goal, comes in front, stop. Big rebound in front. Oh, a big save made there by Benoit, but he's hurt. He's down. I think he took that one right in the nether regions. He's back up on his skates and doubled over, but trying to participate. Puck has not been controlled by the Maple Leafs. Well, he seems to be skating a little bit better, and the Leafs are going to get it out for him. And down into Detroit territory, and Simon Benoit doubled over. Well, if you've ever been hit there, it hurts.
It's hard to believe, as much as the Red Wings have been the better team here in the second period, the Leafs are out shooting them 5-3. But we've seen Tanev block shots, Benoit.
Yeah.
Maybe involuntarily blocking that last one.
He was game. He just wasn't real good at it. Played along the boards in the Toronto zone. Ekman-Larsson back of the net for Riley. Got it up on the wing. Bobby McMahon couldn't get it past the defense. Justin Hall keeps it in, and a shot is wired over top of the Leaf cage. Played back to the point. Another shot stopped in front of the net. Played off the stick to center ice. Trying to get to it there was McMahon, but he failed. Red Wings will play it back into neutral ice, and Kane gets across the line before he's taken to the boards. That draws a crowd just inside the Leaf blue line, and it's still there as McMahon gets it out. And on the left wing side, now a chance for Dewar, and he got a wrist shot away, but it was kicked away by Cam Talbot. Played back out at center. Jake McCabe brings it back in. His shot into the chest and held by Talbot. And he will hold on for a face-off coming in the Detroit zone with 8 minutes and 33 seconds left to go. They just showed that again, and now I'm sore. Good thing we have a timeout. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every NFL Sunday, you'll hear all the big plays on SiriusXM NFL Radio's Sunday Drive.
Touchdown, Buffalo!
Follow the entire league without changing the channel.
Chiefs are in the red zone. Let's go out to Kansas City.
Plus, fantasy football updates and post-game interviews.
From Baltimore, tight end Mark Andrews.
The Sunday Drive brings you closer to the NFL.
Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go! What's up, Leafs Nation? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs and the Red Wings. It's a doubleheader here on TSI. We've got the Canada-Latvia game going, the Leafs and the Wings, two original six teams matching up in Detroit. Beautiful night. Now's the time for you to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Please let us know your city and state, city and province, your international country of origin, where you're at, hanging out with us, having a good time, cheering on our Maple Leafs on Toronto Sports Insider. Now, once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in the chat where you're watching from. Now, let's get back to the hockey.
3 Stanley Cups and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs 3, Red Wings no score. David Camp and a pair from Mitch Marner. In the first period, have the Maple Leafs up by a 3-0 count.
You know, it's hard to believe that when Derek Lalonde was let go, he was the 10th longest tenured coach in the National Hockey League.
What you're saying here, Mr. Ralph.
Oh, there's been some turnovers. But only 2 had a worse winning percentage or point percentage, and that was John Tortorella in Philadelphia and Marty St. Louis in Montreal.
Are they next?
Well, I mean, I guess a lot of it has to do with expectations, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Mike Babcock came to Toronto, he said there will be pain. And for a year there was, and then there was the draft. And things got better with Austin Matthews. And the Leafs winning the lottery then.
There's Nylander trying to get free, but it is knocked off his stick, and the Red Wings regroup it back in their own zone. Petrie getting it up on the left wing, brought to center on the right side. Comfort tries to lay it into the corner, successfully doing so. And the puck comes free, and Morgan Riley skates to it and is just going to lift it high into the neutral zone, out of the reach of Nylander. Now a bank pass for Nylander is intercepted. They try it again. Willie against the boards, couldn't do much with that. Riley steps up, though, and is able to pump it deep into Detroit territory. Nylander trying to steal a puck in the near corner. Kicked it along the boards. Comper got it up to the blue line and now out. And the Red Wings will skate to center, and it is launched deep into Toronto territory. Jake McCabe playing it up on the left wing. I know we picked the 3 stars here tonight. I'm putting McCabe down, if nothing else, when you lose some teeth.
And don't miss a shift.
And don't miss a shift. Yeah.
Although I might, based on that, I might pick Benoit over.
All right. Yes. Backhand goes. Well, you know what? Both can be stars here tonight. Can they not?
He may not have lost them, but
he may have swallowed them. Icicle coming here against the Maple Leafs as it'll come back in. Even if Marner gets the hat trick, I think the other 2 guys have got to get some consideration here tonight. My goodness. And then I laugh because I think they showed it on a lot of the NBA things or whatever. The guys are losing teeth and everything else. NBA player, nah, you know what? I don't think I can go tonight. I'm just going to take a night off.
Yeah, that's where,
load management.
As tough as the other sports are. I mean, in baseball as well.
Yep.
I mean, that's with all due respect. Hard to play with calf tightness, but
yeah. But this is a different sport played by different athletes.
What about Tom Wilson taking one in the face and then coming back and scoring the game winner?
It looked like he had a watermelon on the side of his jaw. Played down into the Leaf zone. Benoit back into the contest. Plays it back to the point. It comes near side for Justin Hall. Centering pass knocked down in front of the net as Benoit had his man on the ice and allowed him to block the shot instead of taking it himself. Red Wings on the right wing side with Justin Hall. In on the right wing. Former Leaf couldn't get it in front. Played around the boards on the far side. Leafs come out with it. Lead pass for Benoit. He'll backhand it deep into Detroit territory. Cam Talbot gets it. And the Red Wings organize in their own zone. Nice move by Lucas Raymond to gain center. Got it up on the left wing and in. Now into the slot area. Hall couldn't shoot it. Puck goes around back of the net. DeBrincat couldn't get it in front. And it is Morgan Riley getting it on for Robertson, who makes a nice play to Domi. Domi across the line. Robertson going to the front of the net to Domi. Oh, and he missed the net. If he hits the net, he's got a goal. Cleared out into the center ice area for Detroit with 5:22 to go in the second period. Centering pass intercepted, and the Leafs get it out.
Cam Talbot was playing the pass going from his left to his right. Then it hit his skate and came right onto the stick of Domi. And it probably surprised Max Domi as much as it surprised Cam Talbot. But Talbot had already gone to the right post. And it was off his skate right to the middle of the ice, and Max Domi just unable to take advantage of it. Well, actually, it wasn't a skate, was it?
No, it was a stick.
It was Jeff Petrie.
Yep.
Intercepted the pass, but played it right back out onto the stick of Max Domi, but Domi couldn't find the goal.
And he has been scoring lately, so it's not like the hands weren't there, but that's the situation. 3-0 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout.
Hey, Hey, you. Yeah, you. The person that's hanging out with us listening to the Leafs and the Red Wings, or, well, you might be over at the Canada-Latvia game by now. Why haven't you hit that subscribe button yet? Get on it. Hit that subscribe button and help this amazing community keep growing on our way to 100,000 subscribers. Thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. You know, I could say, like, hit the bell. We're live all the time. We are. Just thanks for hitting that subscribe button. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go. Go Canada, go. It's a fun night here on TSI.
Out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
Can a pizza commercial change the world?
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
Did Albert Einstein invent the theory of relativity after hearing 7 free sex, free sex, free sex? Did Steve Jobs create the iPhone while eating a Ponzo combo? Next up, Quentin Tarantino's It Was a Rainy Day ads that never made it to air. Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Long shot, deflects in front of the goal. They backhand it into the net.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
5 minutes and 5 seconds to go, second period. The Maple Leafs with a 3-0 lead over the Detroit Red Wings.
Only 3 shots against. I mean, 3 that got to Joseph Wall here in the second period.
Leafs have blocked 7, apparently. Nyes unable to get to it. Nylander kicking it along the boards for Holmberg. Now sent back into the corner. Nyes after it there. Holmberg and now Nylander after it. And the Red Wings get it to the line. Kept alive by Toronto. Nyes along the boards. Holmberg back into the corner. Nylander playing it back into the crowd. Now sent back into the corner where he is engaged. And the Red Wings finally dig it free and are going to get it up on the wing. Both teams trying to get a change in here, and the Leafs doing a good job of forechecking. Now Detroit will bank it off the boards and deflect it down into Toronto territory to allow them to get their change in. Jake McCabe stationed back at the net. Works slowly out of his own zone with a bank pass. It got to the line, but it's a delayed offside as the Wings partially intercepted it. Now shot back down into the Toronto end. McCabe after it again. Tied up in there with Raymond. Puck goes off the near boards. Leafs Tavares getting to it and got it out at center. And Pacioretty works down the left wing boards. Stops up at the half wall. Now works back towards the blue line. Drops it off now for Ekman-Larsson. Scores! Deflection in front of the net, and it's Mitch Marner who has tipped it home for the hat trick. And the Leafs lead 4-0.
He likes this building, doesn't he? 3rd career hat trick. 2nd that has come at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. First time he ended up stretching it to a 4-goal night. He's got 3 already here with 3:37 to go in the second period. It's a simple play. Right wrist shot from the left point. Marner cruising in front of Cam Talbot. Just a little mid-air redirection that finds the net. Walker's side on Talbot, and the Leafs lead has grown to 4.
13th goal of the season for Mitch Marner. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is the one who got the shot away. And Mitch Marner's hand-eye coordination is demonstrated to a T right there. And the hats from the Leaf fans at Little Caesars Arena pouring onto the ice.
And in the 13 games coming in, he had only scored 1 goal, but still had 16 assists. So it's not like the production wasn't there, the dominance wasn't there, but I guess you knew it was just a matter of time. And it had actually been 6 games without a goal before this. The Marner comes into the game with 10. He's got 13 now.
He's one of 5 players that have played all 35 games for the Maple Leafs. Steve Lorentz, Morgan Riley, Willie Nylander, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson are the others.
Ekman-Larsson and Pacioretty both picking up the assists in the Marner goal.
3:28 to play in the second period. We get an icing call here against Toronto. Pacioretty, let's see now, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson with a goal and 12 helpers on the season. The Leafs have not gotten any kind of goal production
from the defense.
From their defense, right? But they block shots and play well defensively.
Yeah, lowest offensive output in the league from the blue line is the Leafs. I believe it's, 8 goals from the blue line?
I think it's 7. Yeah, it's 7. Rangers and Senators have 8, and the Red Wings have 10. Kane coming through center, works to the line, just onside, lifted it towards the net. That went over the outstretched glove of Joseph Woll. Centering pass, knocked away nicely by Morgan Riley. And the Leafs, Lorenz gets to center, battles hard to get it into neutral ice. David Camp sends it back. Al McCabe will send it deep into Detroit territory.
Boy, the fourth line has played a lot of time in the offensive zone, haven't they?
They really have. Yep, and that was one of the areas that was a concern, because the fourth line seemed to get hemmed in their own zone so much when it really wasn't the real fourth line, right? There was a lot of mix and match, but
injuries, forced that. Connor Dewar didn't play till well after the season opener.
Yep. Played off the stick of Robertson, and it clears the glass and goes out of play, and a faceoff will come in the neutral zone as a result.
Of course, David Camp injured after that as well. Steven Lorenz really has been the only constant member of the fourth line and healthiest member of the fourth line as well.
Yeah. Reeves missing time with the suspension. David Camp has been out.
Ted Dewar out of the lineup as well.
Yep.
So when you start going deeper, Kelly Yarncroc has not played this year. Not saying he would have been a fourth line candidate, but certainly a factor in who is available for the coaching staff and Craig Berube. I thought, the fourth goal, the Marner hat-trick goal, is a huge bonus. I thought for the Leafs just to get out of the second period with a 3-goal lead would have been huge. Still time left for that to change here in the second period.
Now, the Leaf forwards have scored 93.5% of the goals. You see, so now you take a negative. 7 goals scored by the defense. That's the negative. But the positive, forwards are doing a real good job of scoring.
Yeah, that works if you're in a playoff spot. If you're in the last, you're not taking that 93%.
That's from the department of figures don't lie, but liars can figure, right? And that's figuring. A shot from a sharp angle down in the Leaf zone deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Fisher trying to get it out into the slot area. Tying it up is Marco Kasper, and the Leafs get it back to the blue line, but not out. Red Wings closing in, and that bounced off a body, and there were about 8 of them in front of the net. It banks out at center ice now, and the Leafs will go into the center ice area trying to get it away from Mort Seider. Seider will drop back in his own zone. Red Wings have attempted 40 shots, the Leafs 32. But on goal, 17 for the Red Wings, 20 for the Maple Leafs. Shooting percentage is a little better. Riley sends a long shoot into the right wing corner. Minute to go in the period. Marner hunting around for a loose puck. It comes up on the wing, and Pacioretty gets it back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson shot. That went wide of the goal. Red Wings get it to the line and out. Tavares being a nuisance there along the boards for the Red Wings. It's into open ice now, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson goes back to find Benoit, who gets it out at center. Tavares sends it down into the Red Wing zone. Leafs keep it in on the far boards, and now it's poked back out into neutral ice, and Marner is back there for Toronto, stretching things out, realizing the Wings need to get a change. Gets it ahead, and Lorenz will send it down into Detroit territory now with 12 seconds left to play in the period. Wings bring it back. They're going to send a long shoot in. And was it offside or icing?
Well, it might have been icing.
Either one. It's going to come all the way back into the Red Wing zone with about 6 seconds left. Mitch Marner making another creative pass using his skates.
It's a hard ring around the boards, and Marner, instead of trying to position himself to pick it off the boards with a stick, decides I'm just going to do a little angling here with the skate blade to get it across ice.
Face off to the right in the Detroit zone.
Just 4 shots for the Red Wings in the second period.
And the Wings win the face-off. They have dominated that area. Domi cuts off a clearing pass, and they score! Nick Robertson in the final second makes it 5-0 Toronto as Max Domi stole the puck along the half wall. Now
there's no time on the clock.
No time left, but I looked up once the puck went in, and it was still ticking.
Yeah, we're going to have to hope to get a replay with the clock being shown. I don't know how Max Domi has any clue from the left wing boards that Nick Robertson is on the far post, and we see it from the overhead. There was about 1.1 seconds left when Robertson put it in. So now you think it's a nothing play, icing the puck, right?
Yep.
In the dying seconds of a period.
How'd it work out?
The Leafs win the face-off. Now they've reset the clock to 1.3 seconds. But Nick Robertson has his 6th of the year, and now his 4th in the last 6 games to give the Leafs a let's call it comfortable for now, 5-0 lead at the end of 2 periods.
And the Boo Birds are out at Little Caesars Arena as the Detroit Red Wings cough up 2 late goals, and the Leaf lead is extended to 5-0. And for Nick Robertson, a big goal from Max Domi that comes at 19:58. And we'll ship it off to Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert as the Leafs lead 5-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This is Steve Torrey. It's the last Sunday of 2024, so join Bill Leckus and me for the Sunday Drive at noon Eastern.
Looks, throws, answers. Yes! Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
For live listen-ins, guests, fantasy analysis, and playoff scenarios around the National Football League.
Fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo!
We get ready to close out 2024 with a bang, so join us on the Sunday Drive on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first-round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired.
They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac! Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Marner in over the line, looking for Tavares. Mitchell Marner!
Now, thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick. Scores!
Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter. Haaland scored the hat-trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Now works back towards the blue line. Drops it off now for Ekman Larsson. Scores! Deflection in front of the net, and it's Mitch Marner who has tipped it home for the hat trick. And the Leafs lead 4-0. Domi cuts off a clearing pass, and they score! Nick Robertson in the final second makes it 5-0 Toronto as Max Domi stole the puck along the half wall.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan and Maple Leafs Radio Network. Well, things have broken open for the Maple Leafs over the Detroit Red Wings, score of 5-0 after 40 minutes. And you've got Mitch Marner cooking against the Red Wings. Should have been my player to watch. I regret it.
Yeah, he might have been. Might have been the pick. Might have been the pick. Natural hat trick for Mitch Marner. Completes it in the second period. His previous hat trick, well, he has two previous hat tricks. One came in Detroit. That was also a natural hat trick. So he seems to do very well in Detroit, seems to do very well without Austin Matthews. There are some trends developing as it pertains to Mitch Marner and his goal scoring acumen.
Yeah, this is the first visitor to have two hat tricks at Little Caesars Arena. That's crazy.
May have to rename the building.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Illiches will go for that.
I mean, at this rate, he owns that place.
Yes, he does.
It's pretty unbelievable. Yeah, so with a hat trick tonight, Mitch Marner's tied for 6th in NHL scoring. That's a 113-point pace, folks. Do you think he does it?
I think he's going to finally break the 100-point plateau.
I hope so.
I think this is the year for Mitch. Don't want to curse him because he's been cursed before. But I think it's probably time for a triple-digit point total just in time for his contract negotiations.
Yes, just in time for the contract negotiations. And maybe you wanted that as your holiday gift under the trees, Marner to be locked up. But I think at this point, he's going to just cruise into some sort of free agency discussion maybe, and we'll see where the Leafs fall in line. But this the price goes up.
Either way, there'll be some leverage there for the Mitch Marner camp, which we know wants to squeeze out every dollar that it can. So we can pick that conversation back up when the time comes, because it's a holiday version of the show. We don't want to get too upset when Mitch Marner just scored a hat trick tonight and kind of got the Maple Leafs out of a rut. I mean, the first period was perfect, right? But I'd argue that was perfecter or more perfect, because when you go up 3-0, the team that just got a new coach you'd think would be pretty desperate. Well, the Red Wings ended up with 4 shots in the period, and the Maple Leafs were able to, despite being kind of drowsy in terms of their offensive game in the period, tack 2 more on, have a 5-0 lead, really give no hope to the Red Wings going into the third period, and they're going to start the second half, if you want to call this the second half unofficially after the holiday break, really hot. So a really good first 2 periods for the Maple Leafs. Inspired by Mitch Marner. Yeah,
the Red Wings, I mean, it's non-inspiring tonight. And I was reading our pregame notes that they've got a really tough schedule ahead. The toughest strength of schedule, I believe, in the NHL moving forward. Leafs have the 6th easiest.
So there you go.
Red Wings are going to have to really crawl and run and try to find their way out of it if they want to try to snap that franchise record 8-season playoff drought. They have a very, very tough schedule ahead and doesn't look promising.
And that's good for the Maple Leafs. I mean, strength of schedule over the still 45 plus games remaining. I don't think it's the strongest thing ever. Not like maybe the NFL where, it really matters who you're playing. It does, I guess, to a certain extent, but there's so much parity in the league that if the Red Wings do improve their processes, they should be able to win hockey games, given that they have talent and they have enough seemingly to be decent. But it's going to take a heavy lift here from Todd McLellan, and it's good to see the Maple Leafs get back on track here. Win, we think, up 5-0 after 2, without Austin Matthews again, and sort of recapturing that formula that has been so strong without Matthews.
Yeah, the formula of that third line also cooking with seconds left on the board in the second period. Nick Robertson gets another goal. It was a really good shift, just a quick face-off, goes in the corner. McMahon pressures the puck, goes over the Domi. Domi, quick pass right to Nick Robertson, who was at the back door and one times it in the net. It was nice to see. They had to all look up kind of to see if there was enough time left. I think there's about a second or more in change for the Leafs, so that makes it 5-0. But Nick Robertson also getting hot. Talk about things that might happen at the trade deadline, who knows? But in his first 23 games, we know he only had 2 goals. But in his last 6 games, he's got 4. So he's heating up when things matter for the Leafs in terms of what's going to happen with him, trade value, maybe making this third line work. I'm sure we'll talk a lot more Nick Robertson.
Yeah, the third line's an interesting case because it feels like you could have a lot of confidence when they're playing well. Look at this. If that line's going, look what can happen. But when they lose games and that line, no coincidence, isn't playing well, you're like, okay, well, something's obviously got to change here. So it definitely changes with the way the winds are blowing. But, they haven't been overly noticeable tonight. But that's the sort of thing you can kind of not expect or bank on, but every once in a while they should be able to combine for something like that. When you got a shooter like Robertson, a finisher like Robertson, a passer like Domi, and a worker like McMahon, you'd think, you're going to get something every now and then. And it's been hot and cold for them, and mostly cold this game, but a hot end to the period, and definitely giving Craig Berube more to think about.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and take a look at this scoreboard around the NHL and get you set for the third period. It's 5-0 lead for the Maple Leafs after 40. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics. And all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Over to our site app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
For 40 years, listeners have pondered why Pizzaville begins every ad with these now immortal words.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
Questions like these have perplexed mankind for millennia. What is the meaning of life? What is the true nature of the universe? Will Toronto ever win the cup? Next up, is Netflix going behind the scenes of It Was a Rainy Day? Pizzaville. 40 years of funny.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face. Relax by the water, taking in the soothing sounds of thick ice cracking and popping. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's a 5-0 whooping by the Maple Leafs after 40 minutes. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Now they're 20 ahead, but the Detroit Red Wings do not look like they look like they had a couple baked bries and a couple turkey legs. Joe Bowen came in here and told us about how he was deep frying turkey. I think the Red Wings were having some deep fried
Bowen
turkey.
for Christmas, if that could ever, for whatever reason, come to fruition, would be pretty spectacular.
I think people would be rolling
with the breeze and the deep fried
Get
turkeys.
a couple of forklifts out of there.
I will say, though, I mean, they came out decent, and Joseph Woll's been really good. I think it goes a little overshadowed when Mitch Marner has a natural hat trick and Nick Robertson scoring buzzer beaters, and John Tavares is maybe dished out the best assist of his Maple Leaf career. Like, those things go a little unnoticed, but Joseph Woll's been really good in this game. Good to see, because the Maple Leaf goaltending did start to falter a little bit the moment Stolarz went down.
No controversy anymore. But they do have back-to-back, so Matt Murray in net tomorrow. Maybe we rewind this conversation next week. Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
There are now 6 games underway on an 8-game slate this evening. The Devils have a 4-2 lead, end of 2, over the Hurricanes. 4-1, the Sabres lead the Blackhawks. It's 5-1. Blue Jackets have a commanding lead over the Bruins. 1-0 early, Stars over the Wild, and the Blues have a 4-2 lead over the Predators after 1 period still to come. Colorado and Utah, Vegas and San Jose.
And it's 1-0 for Hockey Canada over Latvia and 2-1 Toronto Scepters over Boston Fleet in the PWHL.
Both true. Yeah, Canada having some trouble here with Latvia. Jet Lachenko of the Flyers started the season with the Flyers with the goal. But yeah, Latvia parking the bus pretty well in this junior game.
Defensive juggernauts.
Been pretty impressive thus far.
Minus 100,000.
Not a good bet.
No,
not a good bet.
Not. Okay, 5-0 for the Maple Leafs after 40. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the third period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Tonight on Sirius XM Sports.
The college football bowl season continues. Tune in now as the Texas Tech Red Raiders take on the Arkansas Razorbacks in the Liberty Bowl, followed by the USC Trojans and Texas A&M Aggies in the Los.
Cheers, Insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Toronto Maple Leafs, Canada, both teams on the ice, same time. It's so much fun. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up with my trying to work on something really cool here with a player of the Leafs that has something to do with the World Junior Hockey Championships. Also, we just got some great stuff done with Joe Bowen for our Football Frenzy. The SickKids campaign is now up and live, and it'll be ready for New Year's Eve night when we host the college football playoff game, as well as tons of other sports action that day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being an insider. Cheers. Now go Leafs go.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs with a 5-0 lead over the Detroit Red Wings coming off the Christmas break, and it looks like everybody had pretty good Christmas dinners and everything else. Looks like a goaltending change. Alex Lyon has come on to play for the Detroit Red. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky. Every year we get invited to my brother Paul's in Oshawa.
Nice.
Which actually my niece's in Oshawa, Sarah.
Yeah.
But every year is the same.
What happened?
Well, every year we bring something, and every year they're upset.
What did you bring? Well, what did you bring?
Tupperware.
Well, how are you going to get stuff home?
Yeah. I mean,
and they don't appreciate that?
No. It would be kind of rude to expect them to provide.
So a bottle or some food, that wasn't part of the deal.
No, they're not
just
drinkers.
Tupperware.
They're not drinkers.
Leafs moving from left to right on your radio dial. Don't invite Jim Ralph to dinner and expect him to bring anything.
That you'll like.
That you'll like. That's right.
No, it is great. I've been playing that divorced dad card for 24 years now.
How's it working?
Oh, really well.
Really well,
yes.
Yeah. I don't have anything. Yeah, got nothing. Yeah, everything's working out fine. Oh, well, I had all of the girls bringing stuff food-wise, and I just said, get the sweets and take them home. Because otherwise, I won't buy them, but if they're here, I will eat them. Oh, I don't need them.
You can't waste them.
No. You can't throw them out. Leafs flipping the puck out to the top of the circles, but the Red Wings keep it in, and a shot blockered away nicely. Another shot deflects over top of the Leaf goal. Benoit trying to move it out and gets it to center ice. Pass ahead. Tip to the line and in on the right side for Nylander. Nylander holds. Tried to play it back to the blue line, but it was deflected by the Red Wings to center, and Myers for Toronto is able to get it freed up for Morgan Riley, and now a deflection will send it deep into Detroit territory. Alex Lyon in the cage for Detroit. Mitch Marner with his second career natural hat trick to lead the Leafs in scoring here in a 5-0. And David Kamp's probably going to get a penalty here, although he's the one who's on the ice.
I think when he fell, he ended up taking the feet out from a Red Wing player.
So the Red Wings will go to their second power play, and the Leafs penalty kill brought to you by our Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. So David Kamp will go to the penalty box for the Maple Leafs. First penalty since the first period.
Well, we talked about already that Mitch Marner's last natural hat trick, or his first natural hat trick, was in Detroit. Ended up being a 4-goal game. But in that game, the Leafs took a 5-goal lead into the third period. And the Red Wings scored 4 in the first 6 minutes of the third to chase Jack Campbell. And Peter Mrazek came in, and Lee Mrazek picked up the win. Joe, just by playing 15 minutes of the third.
Leafs intercept the pass in the zone and send it out and down the ice. Ryan will leave it there. Gustafson dropping it back. Brought out at center ice now by DeBrincat, who gets in over the line. Going to the front of the net was Marco Kasper, but nothing materialized as it comes back on the far boards. Marner got the puck freed up, pounds it off the boards. Down the ice it'll go with 1:26 left to go in the power play. Wings leave it back of the net. Now start out with it. Brought out by Eric Gustafson. He drops the puck back. Onto the left wing side for Patrick Kane. The veteran gets it in on the left wing. Now it comes back to the point. Walking the line with it is Seider. Seider into the left wing corner for Kane. Now back of the net. Kane looking for a return pass and getting it near half boards. Kane again with it. Back to Seider. Over on the far side. Back to Seider for the one-timer. That was off the mark wide. Trapped on the far side by Dylan Larkin. Larkin gets it down into the corner. Larkin going to the front of the net looking for a pass. Doesn't materialize. Still on the far side. It's Sauced back now to Seider. Now on the left wing side. Raymond holds. back into the slot. Seider, a shot deflected off the glove. Wall had that in his mitt, but didn't squeeze it. Kept alive by Detroit. 28 seconds in the power play. Getting it back to the blue line. Onto the near side for Seider, into the slot area, still with it. Now lets a shot go. That deflected off a couple of bodies and went wide, and then it's pounded off the glass and into the screen. That puck remains in play, although some of the Red Wings were kind of pointing to the skies, hoping for a delay of game penalty that didn't come.
Yeah, it was Dylan Larkin, I think, that was trying to get the Red Wings on a 5-on-3. As you mentioned, Larkin pointless in his last 3, but has not scored in his last 13.
Matthew Nyes took one on the gluteus maximus. That's right cheek over there, Mr. Ralph. I think he's a little sore setting down over on the bench right now.
Now, don't sit beside Jake McCabe or Simon Benoit.
No, yeah.
They're
not, no sympathy whatsoever. You say you got hit in the rump. Well, let's talk about ours.
Yeah, turn around and do it.
Leafs get the puck free with 5 seconds left in the penalty, and it's cleared to center ice. And the Leafs are 2 for 2 in the penalty kill department. And lead it 5-0. David Kemp, Nick Robertson have bookended a natural hat trick by Mitch Marner. McMahon on the wing, and a long lead pass goes in off Robertson. Played by Lyon, the goaltender, into the corner. Red Wings trying to get it out, but McMahon knocked a clearing pass back of the net. Red Wings will try the other side this time. Not much more success. Comes back to the Toronto blue line, but the Leafs have it there. Now getting it ahead. Robertson dropping it off. Coming through neutral ice into the line, but Pontus, or at least Holmberg, couldn't get in over the line. Now he tries again. Works down into the corner. Ridden in there by Ben Sherratt. Holmberg holding the puck, but knocked down on the play. Nylander punched it around back of the net. Jeff Petrie is there for Detroit. He'll get it out, but not much further as the Red Wings turn the puck over again. Now Nylander with teams changing. Closing it on the wing. Oh, and he just missed that far post. And we had a great angle of it as it just went wide. Shot right back down into Detroit territory.
Well, you split the difference there, and you might have a tip in with a forward going to the far post.
Joe Veleno tries to work out. Stick handles back into his own zone now for Detroit. Got it off on the wing for Gustafsson. Gustafsson up on the left side. Casper in across the line. Veleno now centering pass. That didn't work. Comes back along the boards. Veleno tries to center again. Deflected to the far side. Big hit over there by Pacioretty on the defenseman. Now along the boards it comes to the near side. Marner's going to just saucer it down the ice, but it looks like it's gone too far and has turned into an icing that'll come back into the Toronto zone. The Leafs' next action is tomorrow night. The Washington Capitals will be in town, and there is speculation that Alex Ovechkin, who has been out for a while, will be back in the Caps lineup. And that the Capitals are maybe one of the surprise teams this year.
Absolutely.
Would you not agree?
Yeah. And I think the big surprise has been the offense. I mean,
yes,
especially with Ovechkin out of the lineup. I mean, just, we saw it when the Capitals were in Toronto a little earlier, where they do it by committee.
Yep.
Connor McMichael's been great. Strome's been great.
Yeah, Strome's having maybe his best year. Here's Marner in across the line, left wing side, swept around the boards too far for Tavares, kept in by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Red Wings then turn the puck over as it comes along the boards, and Lorenz trying to add some support here as the Leafs are in the midst of a change, and Connor Dewar over the boards for Toronto as well. 13:40 to go in the third. The Leafs with a 5-0 lead over the Detroit Red Wings. And Tarasenko dropping back into his own zone, and it's deflected down into the Toronto end. Out of the goal is Wall to scoop it along on the far side. Puck intercepted by Detroit, comes in front of the net, knocked away by the Maple Leafs. But a hand is up. It looks like a penalty coming again. Cross-checking call coming against Toronto. So the Wings will get their third power play opportunity, which will even up that score.
Minor penalty, cross-checking.
And the penalty kill is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. And the Leafs with a 5-0 lead and a penalty to kill. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It may be cold outside, but we are only weeks away from the start of golf season. Get ready for 2025 with SiriusXM PGA.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs and the Red Wings. We're live right now for Canada and Latvia. Thank you to the insiders for reaching out to me and saying, come on, are you going to do these games? You're going to do these games? We're doing the games. And we are live right now for Canada against Latvia right here on TSI. So thanks for hanging out with us here during the Leafs game. And head on over there, hit that like button, cheer on our boys, the Canadian boys, and let's go get that gold at the World Juniors. Should be a fun night tonight against Latvia too. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go!
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91 and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gort Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Maple Leafs trying to end a bit of a streak here. They've allowed 3 or more goals in their last 6 games. And they have a 5-0 lead over Detroit here. And our good friend celebrating a birthday today.
Yeah, Mickey Redmond. Between the Leafs and Red Wing bench, 77. That's a former 50-goal scorer and brilliant career cut short because of a back injury.
Played by the Red Wings in over the line, onto the right wing side. Now for Raymond, a shot that deflected just wide of the Leaf goal. Marner on the backhand gets it elevated and out and down the ice it goes. Seider goes back to recover for Detroit. Drops it further. Larkin got it ahead. In over on the right wing for Kane. Into the corner then for Raymond. Raymond back to Kane. Kane looking for Larkin. Larkin at the top of the circles. Near side a shot. That was stopped. There's a big rebound. And it trickled wide of the Leaf net. Think that was caught up in one of the Red Wings equipment. Now a pass on the right wing side. Wall down. And it's cleared into the corner by Myers for him. He'll get it back to the net. Joseph Woll doing a great job. Played back to the point. Seider. On the left wing side, Raymond. Cross ice pass out of the reach of Kane to get a one-timer away. Now Seider again. Now Raymond with a shot blocked in front of the net by Myers. They go into the corner. The Leaf defense corps is going to have a lot of ice packs on them after this one. They have blocked a lot of shots. Red Wings with 27 seconds in the power play. Raymond a shot, scores! They worked it around finally, and Lucas Raymond will end Joseph Woll's shutout bid with 11:43 to play in the third period.
You thought the Leafs had dodged a couple of bullets. One was the one that got caught up, as you said, Joe. I believe it was DeBrincat had it caught up in his midsection. Wall slid past him, and the puck dropped in the blue paint in front of the empty net before it was cleared away. Then Wall made a spectacular save, going from his right to his left, and this one just finds a sliver of daylight. The one-timer in the left wing circle. I think it just goes over the left pad and under the catching hand of Wall. And the Red Wings are on the board, 5-1 with 11:42 to go.
Leafs get the puck with a shot in on goal. I don't think that Lyon had a shot to handle yet. Puck in back of the net. He asked his world-renowned color analyst. Brought on now by Detroit on the left wing.
If you were world-renowned, you'd already know.
Well, exactly. If you had any intelligence at all, yes. Puck into the corner in the lead zone. Played off escape, but not out. It'll be trapped and sent back around the wall to the near side. Trapped over here on the near wing by Edvinsson. Sent back at the net. Pontus Holmberg tied his man up. Morgan Riley comes away with it. Got it ahead, and it'll be flipped in to the Detroit zone.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Leafs had 22 shots or 21 shots after the second period. So I don't know where this shot came from here in the third.
Well, wait a minute. No, they've just got 21 up there now anyway, right?
Oh, no, they got 22 for the Leafs.
Oh,
right.
Oh, 22 for the Leafs. Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. I'll be all right.
Hey, it's a lot harder than it looks.
It is. It's not. Yeah. I know. And being, a cumulative expert on shots on goal. Played deep into the Toronto zone. McCabe tried to get it freed up. It comes right in front of the net, but Chris Tanev is there. And it's out at center ice, and the Leafs trying to break in over the line. That looked like it might be offside. Doesn't matter. The Wings get it out. And it's played down into the Toronto zone, and half the third period is in the books. Leafs have a 4-goal lead, leading 5-1. Deflected down into Detroit territory. Camp after the puck into the near corner. Tries to get it along the boards there for Lorenz. Lorenz and Dewar unable to keep it in. Red Wings get it back out into neutral ice and now launch it deep into the near corner. Played around back of the net, out of the reach of Benoit. Comes back to the point. Detroit keeping it alive on the left wing. Larkin closing. Good save made there by the glove of Wall. And it'll be brought back by Toronto to center. Joseph Wall, after a loss in his career, is 12-4-0 with a 2.41 goals against average. So he's trying to improve on that after a loss. And the Wings have it back in their own zone.
Can you imagine Matt Murray gets the start tomorrow night?
I would think so, although Dennis Hildeby and the Toronto Marlies came up with a big shutout win. So that is, I suppose, up in the air, although they've been kind of playing leapfrog with who's coming up and who's going down. But there'll certainly be somebody other than Wall. It's a shot taken there by the Leafs, and it deflects and goes up into the crowd as Max Domi had a good look at the net but couldn't quite connect. It is a 5-1 Toronto lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! Go Leafs, go! What's up, Leafs Nation? Thank you for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs and the Red Wings. It's a doubleheader here on TSI. We've got the Canada-Latvia game going, the Leafs and the Wings. 2 original 6 teams matching up in Detroit. Beautiful night. Now's the time for you to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Please let us know your city and state, city and province, your international country of origin, where you're at, hanging out with us, having a good time, cheering on our Maple Leafs on Toronto Sports Insider. Now, once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in the chat where you're watching from. Now, let's get back to the hockey.
For 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Toronto 5, Detroit 1 with 8:46 to play in the third period. And the Leafs have gotten back to playing the kind of hockey that they did when they were really on a roll. They're playing well in front of their goaltender. They're getting good goaltending. They're blocking lots of shots. And they're obviously rather opportunistic in the scoring.
Yeah, and really haven't given up a lot off the rush tonight, have they?
No.
I don't know how much of that is the Red Wings. Detroit actually came into the game 29th in offense in the NHL. Only 2.56 goals per game and 25th in goals against. So a 5-1 score isn't going to help either of those numbers.
And off the rush, a lot of times it was an odd man rush.
Oh, yeah. And Leaf defense got kind of caught pinching in sort of a half pinch. They weren't really committed to sealing off the wall. A lot of pucks bouncing off the right wing boards past them for odd man rushes.
Here are the Wings in with a shot that went wide of the Leaf goal. Then a shot from the other angle went wide, and it caroms off the glass and comes all the way back down into Detroit territory. Gustafsson back in his own zone. A lot of empty seats at the Little Caesars Arena. As the puck comes along the boards and back to the point, trying to get a shot away is Edvinsson, and they score. Eric Edvinsson from the point. And it's 5-2 with 7:52 left to play in the third period.
A little bit of traffic in front. And I don't know if it goes off. Is it Simon Benoit, I think, went to the front of the net to take Jonathan Berggren. And no, I think this just goes straight through. Oh, no. You know what it does? It hits Mitch Marner in the high slot and then bounces down and skips through the maze in front. On their 23rd shot on goal, the Red Wings have scored their second, and just a fluky bounce. Throw the puck to the net from the point and hope for something good, and that's what the Red Wings got.
I know if you're 4.
Yeah. I know if you're Craig Berube, you're not thrilled. You take a 5-0 lead into the third. You don't want to be outscored 2-0 or more in the third period.
A pass ahead. The Leafs get it in over the line with David Camp. His pass into the slot was out of the reach, and now the Red Wings trying to turn this game into a game as they get it into the slot. Edvinsson with a backhand, broken up by the Leafs and played out onto the right wing boards. It's out of the reach of Connor Dewar, and backpedaling now with it is Jeff Petrie. Up on the right side, a pass intercepted at the Leafs defense is sent back out into neutral ice. Leafs get it to the line and bring it in offside, and it will be whistled down. This is the 4th goal of the season for Edvinsson, and it will be Tarasenko and Comfort getting the assists on the goal.
The Leafs had a game similar to this in Tampa. They had the big lead into the third period. Tampa came back to make it close with 3 goals in the third. And I believe it was an empty netter put it away for Toronto.
Leafs win the draw. McCabe rifles it around the boards into the corner. Pushed back of the net by Sherratt. And the Red Wings, Sherratt trying to get away from the back checking of Nylander. Sends it high and around back of the Toronto goal. Wall had a little difficulty with it. Puck comes to the blue line, but not out. Detroit keeping it in. Played back of the net, cut off there by Tanev. Tanev trying to punch it along the boards, but has it trapped by Lucas Raymond. Back to the point it comes. Working the right wing side is Seider, and a shot went high over top of the Leaf goal. Kept in at the near point by Sherratt. Back into the corner again along the boards. It is Tanev getting it back of the net, but he's double teamed over there. Pontus Holmberg trying to apply some assistance. And the puck still in the skates of Joe Veleno. And McCabe finally gets it ahead, and it is Nyes playing it high to the blue line. Crowd reacting to something, not sure what it is. As it's brought in over the line and down into the Toronto zone. Played around back of the net. Near side, Pacioretty. He doesn't get it out. Gets another whack at it. Dives, and now Tavares will play it off the boards to center, and down into Detroit territory it goes. 5:46 to play in the third. Max Pacioretty gets a hit in on the defense and then runs into Hall with another one. Played out at center ice for Detroit. Worked in on the right side with Rasmussen. He takes down Morgan Riley. Could have been a penalty there, but none called. And it's rolled out into the center ice area once more. Hall playing it off on the wing. Red Wings turning back in their own zone. Now pass up on the left side. Marco Kasper gets in but can't get a shot away. McMahon had him tied up. Now back of the net, Tarasenko trying to feed it off. It goes back into the corner. Tarasenko has it on the far boards. Tarasenko still with it, trying to stick handle away there from Nylander. The puck comes back into the slot. No shot yet. It comes in front of the goal. Oh, what a chance Tarasenko had there, but it rolled off the heel of his stick. Wings pressing here. Tarasenko shot deflects wide of the goal. Unable to get a glove on it was Wall. Red Wings keep it alive on the far boards. Robertson loses his stick in the fray. Then a shot is blocked, and Morgan Riley's going to punch it out at center. Leafs need a change, and Domi will get it by just dumping it in deep. He'll go into the forecheck a little bit to pressure as teams are changing, and now it is Dewar getting it around back of the net. Dewar unable to trap it. Neither could Lorenz. Then a shot deflects off a leg and went wide.
Todd McClellan maybe pulls the goalie a little early here. Down 3.
What's he got to lose? Played down into the Detroit zone. It comes around on the boards. Chipped into the corner. Now Dewar comes out with a shot right on. That was stopped. There's a juicy rebound in front. No one could get a backhand away, and Lorenz ended up having it go off his stick and into the corner. Now he's into the forecheck. 3:12 left to play in the third period. Leafs with a good shift there to get some zone pressure on the Red Wings. Now Kane wires it around the boards and into the Toronto zone. All the way to center it comes, and out at center comes Marner. Marner playing it into the right wing corner. Goes in there after it as Sider took him out of the play. And Sherratt turns now and drops it back. Red Wings with 3.5 minutes left in the third period. Shoot it in. Out of the net is Wall. Playing it around the boards high. Blocked there by the Leafs. Played up on the right wing side. Brought to center ice by Ekman Larsson and fed deep into Detroit territory. Back of the net is Tavares. Tavares holding the puck off and working along the boards for Pacioretty. He has Nylander sifting around in front of the net, but unable to get him the puck. Ekman Larsson pinches efficiently. The Red Wings are able to get control of it, though, and they're going to play it out into the center ice area and roll it down towards the Toronto goal. Tavares is first back. He was tripped and slid into the end boards. Puck comes in front of the net. Leafs need to get rid of it, and they do. Just getting it high to center ice with 2:45 left to play in the third. Toronto 5, Detroit 2. Back down deep into Red Wing territory. So far, the goaltender, we believe, is still in the net. Back to the point, a shot blocked in front. It goes into the corner. Trying to get to it is Lucas Raymond. Raymond is too well covered. Still up against the boards. A battle again. The puck finally dug free off a stick. Leafs come out with it. And it is Nyes trying to get around the defense, but did get it to the zone. Now it'll be brought into the zone by the Leafs. A nice little move there by Pontus Holmberg, but he couldn't set up his man. 2:07 to play. Back come the Red Wings in over the line with Dylan Larkin. He's too well covered. Played by Ekman Larsson to the line, but not out. Wings have a go off the stick, and it's back down into neutral ice. Goaltender still in the net as far as we can tell. Played back down into the Toronto zone with 1:47 left to play here in the third period. Around on the boards far side, and again launched to center and bounding down, and now we get to see there's Alex Lyons still in the goal for Detroit. And Steven Lorentz doubled over and going to the bench in some discomfort. Wings get it back into Toronto territory. Play it around back of the net. Quickly up on the wing for Connor Dewar. Dewar gives it back to his defenseman. Jake McCabe got it ahead. Unable to get it into the zone was McMahon the first time, but he just gets it in over the line. Minute 10 left to play in the hockey game. Wings turn the puck over. Here's a chance for Nick Robertson looking for the top shelf, and he fired it off the glass and out at center ice at Cairns. Played right back down into Detroit territory, and under a minute to go in the game. Red Wings play it ahead. Off the stick, bounces to the late blue line. Fed back in for Robertson. Robertson on the near half boards. Down into the corner it goes. Bobby McMahon fending off a check, takes it to the boards, and now tries to pin it there. It's dug out by Max Domi. Back to the point, a shot coming, block. Robertson in front, couldn't get a shot on his knees. He gets it in front of the net, but McMahon couldn't help him out. Red Wings get it out at center. Myers off the boards, gets it back down into Detroit territory. Final 15 seconds, and it looks like the surrender flag has gone up for the Wings. They have now brought it to center ice and in over the line. Berggren getting it into the slot. A backhand save made there by Wall. Final seconds ticking down, and the Maple Leafs win it by a score of 5-2.
And will regain top spot in the Atlantic thanks to regulation wins, even though they're tied in points with the Florida Panthers. But more importantly, end a 2-game losing streak that happened just before the Christmas break. Both those games are at home. The Leafs, by the way, have won 3 straight now on the road. And 4 of the last 5. The only loss during that 5-game stretch was previous game in Detroit against the Red Wings.
Wings outshoot the Maple Leafs 25-23, but the Leafs score 3 in the first and 2 in the second, and then coast it along for a 5-2 victory. The 3 stars are brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease the CR-V from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Well, I'm going to let you pick the 3rd star. You can take Jake McCabe or Simon Benoit. Both have block shots.
No, it's got to be 3A, 3B.
Well, I got to have David Kempf as the 2nd star, first goal of the year. Mitch Marner's obviously the first. John
But
Tavares
those guys,
had 2 assists.
losing teeth and getting drilled in the gazingas. I mean, come on.
That should be easy for you.
I am. I'm taking the gazingas.
Simon Benoit.
Yes.
With honorable mention.
No, honorable mention to the couple of teeth
the
Jake
chiclets
McCabe.
of Jake McCabe. Yes, but those are your 3 stars. Feel free to submit your own.
No, that's right. Well, if you feel any more pain, I don't know how you could possibly do it. Well, we'll let Eilish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert solve all of the post-game situations as the Maple Leafs get set to return home to face the Capitals from Washington tomorrow night. And Jim and I will have the call beginning at 7 o'clock. We hope that you will join us then. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Hear every game of the College Football Playoff on SiriusXM. The quarterfinals kick off on New Year's Eve at 7:30 Eastern when Boise State battles Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl.
Touchdown, Ashton Jetti.
Then on New Year's Day, a tripleheader starts at 1 with Arizona State and Texas, followed by Oregon taking on Ohio State, and then Georgia faces Notre Dame. Get your channel numbers at SiriusXM.com/college football schedule or search college football on the SiriusXM app. And for expert analysis, check out College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
24/7 Hockey Talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head.
Another shot, Redden blocked. Another chance. Game over. Bless you, boys. What a game. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel, the kid's on fire. They're going to the 2nd round. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel. Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Marner in over the line looking for Tavares. Scores! Mitchell Marner!
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick. Scores!
Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
Word for you tonight.
Sports
Grid Radio on SiriusXM has you covered this college football season.
The college football playoff action continues with Penn State taking on Boise State in the second round this weekend. Can Penn State keep it rolling after a big win over SMU, or Genti and the Broncos prove to be too much for them to handle? Make sure you tune into Sports Grid Radio to stay up to date on all the latest.
The place to get the winning edge over the sports books this football season is Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
Under review.
So I always crack up when people go, I got a 4th and a 5th and a 6th. And yeah, and Charlie Brown got a rock. I'll take the 4th, 5th, and 6th over the rock. If you miss on your first-round draft pick, it can happen. You miss the second time, what are we doing here? You miss the third time, you should be fired. What are you doing running your team's draft? No excuses.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Vegas Golden Knights head coach Bruce Cassidy.
What gets you excited when you see their team, really starting to function at a high level?
Now you're bringing new guys in and creating a culture for them. I have always enjoyed that. Enjoyed it in Boston. Love it here. Two organizations with great culture and winning sort of attitudes. And we're seeing some young guys getting a little more responsibility and handling it well.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, when do you change a call? We talked about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
And the Maple Leafs Radio Network breaking down a Leafs 5-2 victory over the Detroit Red Wings on the road after a couple of days of holiday rest. One team looked rested, one team looked rusted. How about that?
I think that's fair. It wasn't like a full comprehensive effort from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I will bring up something that was a little interesting in terms of the numbers in a second. But yeah, the Maple Leafs responded really well to entering the break on a bit of a slide. The new coach bounce is not something that's promised for a team, but you'd think the Red Wings would be ready to go after their coach was fired on Boxing Day. That was probably a bit of a surprise in the holiday season for the members of the team. You thought they would be ready to go for this one, but the Maple Leafs dominated early. Cruise control, maybe a bit in the third period. Wasn't a great period to close things out, but when you're up 5-0, you can excuse being outscored 2-0 in the third period. So all around, a good Leafs game, a good Leafs effort, a nice way to break a little slump and to start this portion of the season on a high note.
Okay, what didn't you like?
Well, I'll just ask you, is there a player you didn't notice much from the Maple Leafs tonight?
Max Domi.
Okay, Max Domi
he
did have the nice pass. I think the third line was okay. They did score a goal. Max Pacioretty was somewhat.
See, I just throwing names at you. Who is it?
What about William Nylander? You notice it much?
No.
Well, the second line of Nylander, Holmberg, and Matthew Nyes at 5-on-5 tonight were out attempted 19-3. 19-3.
That's quite significant.
Is not a good game for the trio of Nyes, Holmberg, and Nylander. And again, this is kind of a new line that's just thrown together.
It is
here
kind of thrown together
in a lot of ways, but we've talked a lot about how Nylander just dominates when he's in pretty much any situation. You throw him out there and he's going to get his.
And he got that nice assist on the Marner goal.
He did get a nice assist. So this is, 5-on-5. It wasn't working for this line, but Nylander does contribute. He seems to contribute even when he doesn't have a good game most of the time. But you'd think, okay, so was Nylander dealing with Kane all night, where they just shoved in a locker by a specific unit? Not really. They played against everyone the entire game, and they just didn't get it going. So the Holmberg Nylander Nyes combination may, in fact, not have legs. A little, it's probably not bringing up something that's somewhat insignificant after a really good Leafs night, but if we're nitpicking a little bit, it was a pretty bad night for that second line.
Yeah, I still think they're trying to figure out how to move forward with the absence of Austin Matthews. And once again, the Leafs are on a back-to-back. They're going to play tomorrow night against the Capitals at home with most likely Ovechkin's return. So there'll be lots of excitement around that one. But Pacioretty, Tavares, and Marner, obviously, that looked pretty decent. McMahon, Domi, Robertson, that third line that, had worked for about a week and a half where they were scoring all of the Leafs goals. Wasn't their most prolific game, but they still got on the scoreboard. So it's how are you going to... And I thought the fourth line actually played really well.
Fourth line was dominant.
Yeah.
Shots were 8-1 in favor of the Leafs' fourth line against whoever they were playing
awesome.
with.
So then you've got that one odd man out, that one line. Nyes, Holmberg, Nylander, that maybe it's just having a better center option in that middle. But I'm not sure how they can make this work without adding in new bodies. And tomorrow night on a back-to-back, do they bring in a Reeves? I just don't think that's the answer. I thought the fourth line was actually really great. So it'll be interesting how they deploy everyone without Austin Matthews, which we know in advance won't be playing tomorrow night.
It's kind of a situation, unfortunately, for Nylander where it's just hey, you got to figure it out, right? And it's not...
And he can drive a line.
He can.
When he wants to. And he's in the right headspace, and he's not slighted by the fact that I'm not on the best line.
That's just the best course of action because if Marner's in that position, it ends up being worse, doesn't it?
Oh,
and that's not a commentary on Marner or whatever. You need Marner to be assisting whomever you got from the center ice position. In this case, it's John Tavares. I think you need that. You just need a combination that is going to give you that baseline level of offensive contribution. Nylander can be a nomad. He can do it by himself. Some nights it's not pretty. Some nights his only contribution will be on the power play, which it was tonight. And I think that's okay. I think it's less okay with other members. You can't put Tavares on an island. And I don't think Marner's as effective as Nylander generally when on an island. Without Austin Matthews, unfortunately, that's the situation when you don't have that third center. One guy's going to be on an island, and tonight it was Nylander, and it wasn't his best night, but he still found a way to contribute.
We spent a little bit of time in the pregame show talking about, or maybe first intermission, about who's been the Leafs MVP, and it was John Tavares for a little bit, it was Anthony Stolarz for a little bit, but I think it's been Mitch Marner most consistently when Austin Matthews is out of the lineup, and once again, he shines in his absence. 3 goals tonight, a natural hat trick, his third ever hat trick, his second natural hat trick, and the second time at the same arena. So it just kind of got me galaxy braining, what would it take for Marner to be in the Hart Trophy conversation? Let's say he's even on the ballot or he's in the top 5. And I mean, it's an interesting option right now because Kaprizov's injured. So let's say that he's going to fall off a little bit. He's the favorite right now to win the Hart. What does Marner need to do over the next couple months to say that he's in the combo?
So 49 points in 36 games is really good. That's top 5 in the NHL. I think he has many points right now as Connor McDavid has. That is right. Just playing in 5 more games. So he's on par with the pace car, right? The pace car is Connor McDavid. Basically how it works in the NHL nowadays, you have to do something extraordinary to beat out Connor McDavid, who would be the standard in terms of any Hart Trophy race. And last year, Nathan McKinnon did that by scoring 140 points. 3 years ago, Austin Matthews did that by scoring 60 goals. 2 years ago, the pace car won out 150 points for Connor McDavid. So just in the last 3 years, and that's the new standard because things were a little less prolific pre-pandemic. And of course, the pandemic numbers aren't as impressive because they played in fewer games. You got to score probably 130 points minimum. Mitch Marner's never scored 100, but he's on pace for pretty much 130, 140. We can do the math very quick in a second here. But Marner's going to have to basically get 30 points more minimum than he's ever gotten in his career. So that's phase 1. I think phase 2 would be got to score more. Scored 3 times tonight, but only 13 goals on the year. Someone's going to score 50.
Yep.
And you can't finish with 25 and win the Hart, I don't think. So I think he's probably got to score minimum 35 goals and 135 points. But again, it's just, what is your competition doing? And right now, he's right in the hunt. Nathan McKinnon's leading the league in that regard. Connor McDavid's probably going to go crazy over the last half of the season. Kirill Kaprizov is hurt. You're right. He's the shortest odds, or was, to win the award. I think Marner's going to be in the conversation, actually, by the end of the year. And it definitely helps that he's playing without Austin Matthews. Maybe it requires Austin Matthews to be unavailable for most of the season for the Leafs.
Yeah, and that's like part of it too, right? If Austin Matthews goes on LTIR, or he doesn't play for the next couple months or month or whatever it is, it's going to be Mitch Marner being the guy for the Maple Leafs. So look at the people ahead of him. It's Kaprizov, as we mentioned, McDavid, McKinnon, Kucherov, Draisaitl. I think all those guys deserve to be up there. And then it's Eichel, Natchez, Reinhart, Hellebuck, Rantanen, Quinn Hughes, Cale Makar, William Nylander, and Jack Hughes. Those are the players ahead of him in the odds for the Hart. So, maybe he's better than the bottom 5 that I named.
Potentially. And you mentioned the odds, 120 to, I bet you it's a good bet if we're talking betting, if the price goes down. And the price on 120 to 1, it probably will go down by the morning. Not like considerably so, but maybe by a little bit. Again, I think Marner's as good of a candidate as William Nylander is.
Yeah.
I think if Mitch Marner scores 35 goals, 135 points, Matthews misses a lot of time, and he's the guy who carries the Maple Leafs potentially to a division title, there's a really good argument. But Leon Draisaitl could score 60 goals and kind of ruin all that.
I do also think that people would be, and I don't know, there's no Leafs bias, but like people would be like, wow, look at the steps that Mitch Marner took this year to get his team over the hump without Austin Matthews. Like he has those little narrative things in his favor if this were to be a season that means something for the Leafs. Let's say they win a couple rounds and he helps his team win the division, and he does it without Austin Matthews, and he breaks that 100-point barrier and like crushes it, and he's the main guy for the Leafs. Maybe that's a little bit more of a, wow, let's give him a down ballot vote.
His career high for assists is 69. He's got 36 so far this year, so he's on pace to absolutely shatter that, only playing 36 games so far. So he's averaging an assist per game, which means 82 could be the mark. You'd have to score more goals. You'd have to score more than 35 goals if that's the case, though. He's going to have to go absolutely crazy in order to get this done. And maybe the thing that works against him is the Leafs aren't like the most prolific scoring team under Craig Berube. There are nights like tonight where he can score a natural hat trick, but there are also nights where, they're winning 2-1, and it's a little uglier than that.
Before tonight's game, he was leading the league in primary assists. So, I mean, that's a good point. Okay. Is there anything else from this game? I thought Joseph Woll played pretty well. I mean, obviously, in the end of the game there, the shutout's broken, and they got a couple, kind of score effects there at the end. Leafs weren't pedal to the metal, but I'm glad that he got the opportunity to play tonight. This is a game that the Leafs definitely wanted to win. Not that they don't want to win tomorrow, but sometimes the perspective is like, hey, you have your freshest, your best lineup ready for night one of a back-to-back goal out there, and don't leave anything on the table. And then tomorrow, it's Washington Capitals coming into town, and it's a back-to-back with travel. You're not going to have Joseph Woll in net, but you might have Matt Murray. So I'm glad that he played as well as he did tonight. Yeah,
I don't think the Leafs are in a position to get too cute with trying to match up the goaltenders perfectly, especially the way that they've been playing without their best player. If they went, let's save Woll for the Capitals and try to eke one out here. Not to say Matt Murray isn't capable. He could have won tonight's game despite Woll playing really good, I thought, especially early on. I just don't think that's the mode you're in, especially in times like this where your lineup is not optimal. You're still missing a little bit in terms, like you didn't know if Tanev was going to be ready to go. I'm sure they had a pretty good idea, but there were just some questions coming in, and you just got to put your best foot forward. Keep Woll in rhythm. You can't play Woll tomorrow night because you have to keep him healthy. It's of utmost importance. But I think right now it's like 2 points on the table, and this is our best way to go get it. Let's go get those 2 points. Worry about Saturday night in the Capitals with Matt Murray when the time comes.
Yeah, this is 8-4-0 in 12 games without Matthews. He won't be in the lineup tomorrow night. And maybe Ovi will get to exact some revenge and get back in that goal-scoring chase as he hunts down Gretzky.
Good timing for Ovi. Like to get him back. Hockey night in Canada. Sportsnet.
Almost perfect.
Big game.
The only thing that would be more perfect is if Austin Matthews was also on the
ice. It would make things a little bit better. But at least we get one of the generational scorers in NHL history on the ice tomorrow night.
Okay, if that's it for you on tonight, let's take one last NHL look around. One last look at the NHL scoreboard. Oof, it's been a long couple of days.
A lot of brie.
Presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
8 games tonight in the NHL, many of which have reached their completion. The Devils beat the Hurricanes in a big Metro clash 4-2 earlier tonight. The Sabres got a 6-2 win over the Blackhawks. Alex Tuch with a hat trick, in that. No shootout winner in a 6-2 victory. Blue Jackets got a 6-2 win over the Bruins. That's an interesting one. The Stars 2-0 end of second over the Minnesota Wild. It's 5-3 Blues leading the Predators, reaching the end of the second period. Avalanche and Utah just getting underway into the first minute. It's scoreless, and still to come tonight's puck drop at 10:30, Golden Knights and Sharks.
Still 1-0 for Canada over Latvia as well.
Yeah.
With a goal currently being reviewed for Canada.
Okay. Didn't expect this one to be that tight. The Latvians are they're game.
They are gritty. Somewhere JD Bunkus is smiling as he's not doing Leafs talk. He's watching his Latvian boys
keep this one Bowl here.
It is the Bunkus Bowl.
Especially with Gavin McKenna.
There you go. Well, our next Sportsnet 590, the Fan Molson Leafs hockey broadcast is not until next Thursday night when the Leafs head to Long Island. So we'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. It's a 7:30 puck drop, and we'll be setting you up through that. In the meantime, Happy New Year to everyone. Have a safe and Happy New Year. We will see you literally next year.
You had to drop that one again, eh?
One last time.
You don't have any opportunities, so I guess it's
This is it. This is the last time. See you all next year. You've been listening to Sportsnet. You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Ah, at last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
For 40 years, listeners have pondered why Pizzaville begins every ad with these now immortal words.
It was a rainy day in Pizzaville when I realized...
Questions like these have perplexed mankind for millennia. What is the meaning of life? What is the true nature of the universe? Will Toronto ever win the cup? Next up, is Netflix going behind the scenes of It Was a Rainy Day? Pizzaville, 40 years of funny.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Electrified. You try to keep yourself in the moment. You try to stay with your routine. Obviously, there's a much more at stake. And then, we found ourselves, much like we did in 87, up 3-1 in the series, losing to fifth game where it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that New York Rangers were finally going to win a Stanley Cup after 54 years. Only to find ourselves, the party atmosphere got a little bit delayed and then had to go back to Vancouver, which again, we got trounced in Vancouver, just like we did in 87. And now we're coming home for Game 7. And the same thing happened. It just, we felt good about our chances. We felt we were a better team than Vancouver. we felt that we should have wrapped up the series earlier against Vancouver, but that's the greatest thing about sports. You can think all you want, but the reality is they got a heartbeat over there too. They got pride over there too. They're there for a reason because they're a great team. And here we are in Game 7 and happen to go out and execute a great game plan to beat a very hungry, very young, very physical, hard team to play against in Vancouver. And luckily for us, we had a lot of experience. We had a dynamic, incredible amount of talent with Brian Leach and Sergei Zubov, Alex Kovalev, Adam Graves, and Mike Richter and net, and then sprinkled in with some veterans, some hardened veterans with McTavish and Tikkanen and Steve Larmer and Noonan and Mateau and Jeff Bukaboom and Jay Wells and all the amazing players that banded together that year to create maybe not the most skilled team that's ever won a Stanley Cup, but if you look up the word team, they could put the 1994 Ranger team right there, and that year, that team epitomizes what a team is all about.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, December the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Boston Bruins. Jackets on Sirius 210 XM 221 and Internet 927. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m. Buffalo Sabres take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sabres on Sirius 208 XM 219 and Internet 922. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 929. Leafs on Internet 946. 7 p.m. New Jersey Devils face the Carolina Hurricanes. Devils on Sirius 209 XM 220 and Internet 936. Hurricanes on Internet 924. 8 p.m. St. Louis Blues face the Nashville Predators. Blues on Sirius 211 XM 222 and Internet 944. Preds on Internet 935. 8 p.m. Dallas Stars face the Minnesota Wild. Stars on XM 223 Internet 928. Wild on Internet 933. 9:30 p.m., Utah Hockey Club faces the Colorado Avalanche. Utah on XM 201 Internet 947. Avs on Internet 926. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks face the Vegas Golden Knights. Sharks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 942. Knights on Internet 949. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, December the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Boston Bruins. Jackets on Sirius 210 XM 221 and Internet 927. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m. Buffalo Sabres take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sabres on Sirius 208 XM 219 and Internet 922. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 929. Leafs on Internet 946.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Six-time Stanley Cup champion and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin to discuss what Game 7 means to him and what it's like to also lose a Game 7.
Well, when you think about the two greatest words in sports, you think about Game 7 for many reasons. Obviously, to get to a Game 7, both teams obviously very evenly matched from the literal sense, the Game 7. You don't have to be a sport fan to understand that something's big at stake and that you will go watch it even if you don't know the teams, you don't know the players, you know the backdrop, because it's the greatest form of reality TV in the world, because there is going to be a winner and a loser. A lot at stake, obviously. But for me personally, it's a lifetime journey to acquire the skill set that's required to be able to perform when the stakes are the highest, under the most scrutinized pressure, when you're expected to perform. And you think about a Game 7 moment or Game 7, that's when you have to perform. It's a winner or go home situation. And what are the skill sets that are required to do that? Obviously, we've practiced our game and honed our skill set for years and years and years, tens of thousands of hours of honing our skills. But emotionally, mentally, what prepares you to play in those moments and perform when you're expected to? That, I think, is what really defines a Game 7 moment for the players that have excelled in Game 7 moments. And what are those life lessons that we can teach our young boys and girls and the skill sets required to do that? The breathing, it's being able to slow your heart down and your blood pressure goes up and your decision making is rash and concentration varies because of all of it. What allows you to kind of really slow down and use your God-given talent, and then obviously the repetitions through your whole life that you know you can do it. You just got to be able to do it when it matters most. It's like hitting a home run, and like Aaron Boone did, or doing something special at the right moments. And I think the educational part of the docuseries is really fascinating to me there, to help our young boys and girls who will be faced with big decisions in their life. And you don't have to be a sport fan to have a Game 7 moment in life. Everybody's faced with decisions that are going to alter the trajectory of their lives in one way or another there. And we're trying to figure out what those skill sets are.
What does it feel like to lose a Game 7?
Fortunately for me, I never experienced what the Oilers did last year, of going all the way to the end in a championship game and losing in a Game 7. Anytime you get to a Game 7, it's a hard journey to get there. Two teams, evenly matched. It's been a war. It's been a tug of war. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's tired. And then to lose that is devastating. I think about my own experience in Game 7, winning 7 of them. The two still hurt to this day. What could I have done different? You always say that you got to lose in order to understand how to win. I do agree with that. I think there are lessons in loss and in failure, both as a team and as an individual. If I had my preference, I would have liked to have learned those lessons while I was winning. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. But I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, December the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Boston Bruins. Jackets on Sirius 210 XM 221 and Internet 927. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m. Buffalo Sabres take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sabres on Sirius 208 XM 219 and Internet 922. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 929. Leafs on Internet 946. 7 p.m. New Jersey Devils face the Carolina Hurricanes. Devils on Sirius 209 XM 220 and Internet 936. Hurricanes on Internet 924. 8 p.m. St. Louis Blues face the Nashville Predators. Blues on Sirius 211 XM 222 and Internet 944. Preds on Internet 935. 8 p.m. Dallas Stars face the Minnesota Wild. Stars on XM 223 Internet 928. Wild on Internet 933. 9:30 p.m., Utah Hockey Club faces the Colorado Avalanche. Utah on XM 201 Internet 947. Avs on Internet 926. 10:30 p.m., San Jose Sharks face the Vegas Golden Knights. Sharks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 942. Knights on Internet 949. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Friday, December the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 7 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Boston Bruins. Jackets on Sirius 210 XM 221 and Internet 927. Bruins on Internet 921. 7 p.m. Buffalo Sabres take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Sabres on Sirius 208 XM 219 and Internet 922. Blackhawks on Internet 925. 7 p.m. Detroit Red Wings face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Red Wings on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 929. Leafs on Internet 946.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers, Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on the morning skate for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 to discuss the pressures of Game 7 after having played in 9 Game 7s himself, winning 7 of them, and how you can either thrive under pressure or crumble underneath it.
I must look at Game 7s, Mark, like I do overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs or overtime in any sporting event where you've got so much pressure on you and every play gets magnified. Could you, during the course of your career, and you don't have to name names, but could you look around the dressing room or could you look on the opposing bench and could you figure out those that wanted to be the hero and those that just wanted to avoid making the mistake? I mean, was that plain for you to see that there were those that wanted the puck on their stick with the game on the line that could thrive under pressure, and then you had the opposite as well?
I felt myself in those moments there defaulting to the more defensive side of the game. And then I played with my right winger who I won 6 Stanley Cups with, Glenn Anderson. He was the kind of guy that was trying to, really drive hard offensively and take the game and try to score the winning goal. And we're on the same line. Maybe that the difference of us in our mentalities work perfectly. But everybody's wired different. Everybody's got fear, failure. The best have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to internalize those feelings, but you can't let them paralyze you. And it's for me, going into a Game 7, I allowed myself to visualize what if we didn't win, leading up to the game, and then slowly as you get closer to the game, you allow yourself to kind of push the negative feelings aside and you start to fill yourself up with all the great things that are going to happen and what you need to do to execute the game plan. And of course, ultimately to seeing yourself, holding the trophy. And then as the game starts, all the negative and the positive go away. And then you drill yourself down into, just executing the game plan. And you don't think about the what ifs and what should have been or what could have been. You just really kind of play in the moment. And I think trust becomes a massive word when you think about it. Can I trust each one of the players that are going out there to not only to do their part from a strategic standpoint, be in the right position, be in the right places at the right time, but not get undisciplined and take poor penalties at the wrong time because their ego is bruised and someone took advantage of them, then being able to hold all that in check. So there's just so many dynamics to think about for a team in order to overcome all the obstacles to win a championship. And it's fascinating to me. It's one of the reasons I was able to play 26 years, because once you do it, you understand how fun it is, but also how complicated and intricate it is to kind of get not only the team from a physical standpoint to come together, but how a team comes together emotionally, mentally, and the spirituality around a team and the respect that lives inside that locker room is incredible.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice.